right about now. Good, 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 good to be alive right about now. Good, 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 good to be alive right about now. Hallelujah, let that bassline move, yeah, say yeah. It's good to be alive right about now. I was dead in the water, nobody wanted me. I was old news, I went cold as cold. Hallelujah, I've been waiting for this moment all my life now. All my dreams are coming true, yeah. I've been waiting for this moment. It's good to be alive right about now. Good, 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 good to be alive right about now. Good, 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 good to be alive right about now. Hallelujah, let that bassline move, yeah, say yeah. It's good to be alive right about now. I almost cannot handle it. I could get used to this. I almost cannot handle it. I could get used to this. I think I finally found
When
mine.
we talk about protecting what matters most, we're not just talking about things with walls and things with wheels. We're talking about people, your family. Everything that's important to you is important to us. That's why our agents are ready to help protect your future and give you peace of mind today. Visit us online or just stop by to see how Farm Bureau agents make insurance simple.
Contact Jeff or Julie in Rapid City, South Dakota to see how they make insurance simple.
If you jump into a race and you haven't paid the entry fee,
If you just hop in with a bib number and you just run with it illegally,
that's Charge Bandit is first stability on long segment.
max, we paired it with DAP where we're more guiding the foot.
This shoe provides a light stability for the runner. If you're getting a shoe that can do it all,
The design product, it's how we live our life here at Under Armour.
Honda knows you expect a lot from your car. But we wanted to give you even more. So we gave the Civic, the best-selling car in its class, even more horsepower. More room than ever. And a stylish new exterior. Introducing the all-new Civic, the 2016 North American Car of the Year. Nothing compares to a Honda.
There's nothing more American than traveling around this great nation, enjoying the outdoors with your friends and family. Camping World is proud to have been here by your side for 50 years. With thousands of parts and accessories available, plus service at over 120 supercenters nationwide, plus an affordable RV for every budget. Camping World will proudly service you, the RV consumer, for another 50 years. Visit Camping World in Rapid City or shop campingworld.com today.
Well, we're all set for Game 2 here of this doubleheader between the Billings Royals and your Post 22 Hardhats. We once again thank you so much for joining us inside our broadcast booth in Floyd Fitzgerald Stadium. Mark Benetti and Teddy Leipold alongside you for all the action today. It concludes a 4-game series in 2 days, 2 doubleheaders between the Billings Royals and your Post 22 Hardhats. So let's get right down to it. The Hardhats are about to take defense. Riley McSherry is the starting pitcher. His battery mate for this game is going to be Timmy Paris. On first base, it's Matt Vickers. Second base, Walker Paz. Shortstop, Cooper Bowman. In the hot corner at third, it is Justin Kramer. Left to right in the outfield, we have Drake Messenger, Zach Solano, and Hayden McGriff playing out in right. They will go up against the Billings Royals batting order. Connor Polkowski, number 13, leads off at the shortstop position, followed by number 10, Patrick Zimmer, switching from the other side of the middle infield to second base. Batting third is number 8, Cole McKenzie in center field. Batting fourth in the cleanup spot is number 11, Cal Bjorgum. He'll be playing at first. Batting fifth is number 2, Morgan Dugai. Now he switches back to his role as catcher. Sixth is Jarrett Linewan. Number 7, he is out in right field. 7 is Pierce Kurth. He's batting 9, wearing 9, playing third base. Batting eighth is number 12, Brock McDonald, out in left field. And rounding out the batting order is number 24, Carson Zale, designated hitter. Riley McSherry throws his first pitch to Connor Polkowski, and that is low for ball one. Hardhats come in with a 7-3 record. This is now their 11th game of the season, 4th in a row against the Royals. McSherry's 1-0 is now in there for a strike, so he quickly evens the count to a ball and a strike against Connor Polkowski. McSherry comes in. This is his first start of the season, his third game played. He's 1 for 1 on save opportunities. Has a 0 ERA, 10 strikeouts to 1 walk, and he throws ball 2 now to Polkowski. McSherry in the windup to Polkowski, 2-1. Just missed up high. 3 balls and a strike now the count.
And McSherry, this is one of those pitchers that are going to give you a real solid outing, throw strikes, find the strike zone, commands that fastball very, very well.
Here comes the 3-1. They're going to call ball 4. Check swing, did not go. They're saying he didn't go. So there's a leadoff walk from Polkowski. Man is on first now with nobody out here in the top of the first of this final game of this 4-game series between the Hardhats and the Billings Royals. Patrick Zimmer now up.
And you got to be careful. Polkowski, a lot of speed there over at first. Got to be mindful of him over there and see if he's going to be going.
First pitch to Zimmer. Low and away for ball 1, and he showed bunt. 1-0 the count. Patrick Zimmer in the last game went 0 for 3. Polkowski did not play, so he walks in his first at-bat previous to Zimmer. Cole McKenzie's on deck. McSherry checks. Polkowski at first, deals a 1-0. That is a fastball in there for strike 1. 1-1 the count now with the man on and nobody out here in the top of a scoreless first inning. Riley McSherry in his first start of the year. This is the third time he's played. He has 7 innings of work under his belt. Here's the 1-1. Zimmer showed bunt. Ball goes up high. 2-1 now the count. Nobody is out here in the top of the first inning. Connor Polkowski, the leadoff batter, is on first with a walk. 2-1 the count now from McSherry to Zimmer. Runner goes. Eddie deals. Bunt is pushed. Past McSherry. He gets the scoop. Throw to first is in time. What a great recovery by Riley McSherry. However, Polkowski advances to second. A lot of pop on that bunt that Zimmer laid down. Really could have been a swinging hit. You still could have gotten the same result here. But here comes Cole McKenzie with a man in scoring position, 1 out.
Yeah, that's always a very, very tough play. That's a perfectly executed bunt. You want to get the bunt past the pitcher in front of the infielders. And with Polkowski going to second, Walker Paz was already over there covering the bag. And, a nice play there by McSherry and a nice catch by Vickers because that ball was zipped.
Next pitch is bunted, and that goes foul from Cole McKenzie. No balls and a strike his count. Billings trying to play small ball early to get on the board first. They've done that every single game it's been played so far. They've been on the board first in the top half of the first inning. Hardhats trying to prevent that from happening a 4th time in a row and for the 6th consecutive game that they've played. So Cole McKenzie has an 0-1 count. He has Connor Polkowski in scoring position on second with 1 out here in the top of the first. Still scoreless. McSherry from the stretch checks Polkowski at second. Gives him a second look. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and fouled directly behind home plate. McKenzie tried to catch the infield asleep, trying to bunt over for a hit. This time he swings away, and now he's behind 0-2.
McSherry living on that inside part of the plate, jamming these left-handed hitters and in McKenzie, and that's what you like to see right there. You like to get those foul balls that are weakly hit, and look for McSherry to go down and in once again.
0-2 is swung on and fouled again, and that thuds the press box all the way to our left. Luckily, nobody was injured in the making of that at-bat, so no balls and 2 strikes still to count from McSherry to McKenzie.
You could do movie trailers with that description.
No animals were harmed in the production of this film. No balls, 2 strikes to count here from McSherry to McKenzie. Checks the runner and Polkowski on second, and he deals. Inside, just missed. Ball and 2 strikes to count. Weren't kidding. He's living on that inside part. Fastball almost caught him looking.
Yeah, that's tough there. Just ran a little inside. You can tell early on this Blues got a small strike zone, a very narrow path that this ball has to hit.
Next pitch is swung on, and it's hitting to left. Messenger makes a diving catch, and Polkowski has to retreat to second. Great stop by Messenger out there in left field. He's been pretty busy this morning. 2 down now for the Billings Royals with a man in scoring position. Here comes the bat of Cal Bjorgum.
Well, I hate to correct you, but you can start saying this afternoon again. It's 12:12. It's afternoon once again.
Oh,
we are
goodness.
no longer in the morning.
I am just off on my time.
we just
now.
can't. We're saying afternoon in the morning and morning in the afternoon. We'll get it figured out eventually.
I need to have a Post-it note that's just stuck right in front of me. This is what you say. First pitch from McSherry. Breaking ball misses low and inside. Ball and no strikes the count here to Cal Bjorgum. In the first game of 2 to be played today, Cal Bjorgum went 0 for 1 with a walk and a hit by pitch. He has Connor Polkowski on second. 2 outs here, top of a scoreless first inning. Next pitch is swung on, and it's hit to the right side of the infield. That's a base hit. It goes all the way in right. McGriff has to gun it into home, gets the throw, and it's not going to get there in time. So it's a 2-out RBI single for Cal Bjorgum, and for his 6th straight game, the opposition gets on the board in the top of the first inning. Billings has a 1-0 lead.
What a throw there by Hayden McGriff out in right field. Just an absolute cannon. It pulled Timmy Paris just a few feet up the third baseline, but that was still an absolute rocket into home. Just a little behind Polkowski there, who has so much speed. But still, you got 2 outs, only 1 run across. You got to come back, try and battle back, limit the damage. Once again, we say it, Lynch rather repeat, so got to come back and try and match it at the bottom part of this inning.
McSherry deals strike 1 there to Morgan Dugay, so no balls and a strike his starting count. 2 outs here in the top of the first. Billings Royals once again up 1-0 on the Hardhats. Dugay in the last game went 0 for 3, struck out once. His next pitch misses the zone. That's going to even things at a ball and a strike. Should Dugay safely get on base, Jarrett Leinwa, now playing in right field, is on deck. McSherry to the stretch, gives a look to Bjorgum, and he deals high and inside, 2-1 the count. Should Leinwa bat, in the last game he went 0 for 1 and walked. McSherry looks into Timmy Paris now for the sign. He is his battery mate and catcher in this game. Here's the 2-1. Rides up just a high and inside. 3 balls and a strike now the count to Dugay. 1 pitch away from a free stroll to first.
And now if you're McSherry, you just got to settle down. You issued 1 walk, came around to score already. You don't want to issue another free pass, especially with these 2 outs here. Once again, once you hit 2 outs, you don't want to see any more batters than you have to.
3-1 is swung on and popped up. Foul territory, first base side. Matt Vickers is underneath it, and he makes the catch. And that will end the inning. So the Royals get 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and a man left on the base path. And at the end of a half an inning, once again, the Royals have taken a 1-0 lead on the Hardhats. We now go to the bottom of the first inning, where Walker Paz, Drake Messenger, and Zach Solano at the top of the order are due up to start our transition from defense to offense. We'll be right back, folks, with the bottom half of the first inning here on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball, here on ESPN Radio Rapid City, and streamed live on the internet at post22live.com.
Medical Center honors tradition. Hi, I'm Jennifer Tricano, Chief Executive Officer. Owned by physicians, we love this community because it's our home. We coach Little League, are veterans of the armed forces, and send our kids to school with yours. 14 specialties in all, we've treated your family's healthcare needs since 1948. Like Post 22 Baseball, we set higher expectations for ourselves because that's what our legacy demands. Call 342-3280 for an appointment.
Solano, that will lead it off. So real quick, we'll go through the Hardhats batting order and the defensive alignment that they'll face. Walker Paz leads off, playing at second base, followed by Drake Messenger out in the left field. Batting third is Zach Solano in center field, and once again in the cleanup spot is number 27, Matt Vickers, playing at first base. Batting fifth is Eric Petrie. He is the designated hitter for this second game this afternoon. Batting sixth is Timmy Paris, the catcher. Seventh is Hayden McGriff. He's out in right field. Eighth is Cooper Bowman, playing shortstop, and rounding out the batting order, as always in the ninth spot, playing in the hot corner, is Justin Kramer. The defensive alignment that they are about to face is Colton Wickman on the mound here for the Billings Royals. Morgan Dugay is his catcher and battery mate. At first is Cal Bjorgum. Second is Patrick Zimmer. Shortstop Connor Polkowski. And in the hot corner at third, it's Pierce Kurth. Left to right in the outfield is Brock McDonald, Cole McKenzie, and Jarrett Leinwand. So here comes Walker Paz to take to the sticks for the first time in this game. Last game, he went 2 for 4 with 2 runs and an RBI. And again, his batting average has skyrocketed this weekend. Walker Paz is now hitting .313, came into the last game hitting roughly .286. Here comes his first pitch. First pitch from Wickman catches the outside corner. There's strike one. 0-1 the count. Messenger, Paz, and Solano combined for a 4-for-10 outing with 3 ribbies and 3 runs scored. Paz looks at ball 1. That evens his count to a ball and a strike. Wickman back in the windup. Here's the 1-1 to Paz. High and outside. 2 balls and a strike now the count.
Good patience here from Walker Paz. We keep talking about it, how much his batting average keeps increasing, and that goes back to Wednesday and into this weekend. He's had a really big day.
2-1 is low and outside. Just missed. 3 balls and a strike now the count. Walker Paz 1 pitch away from what would be another walk on this season. If my count is correct, that would be number 8. Next pitch, ball 4, and there it is. Walk number 8 on the season for Walker Paz. So the leadoff man is on the base path with nobody out here in the bottom half of the first. Go-ahead run is at the plate. There's Drake Messenger.
And with the speed of Walker Paz and Drake, we're going to be looking at some hit and runs, getting these runners in motion, trying to get them around the base path and tie this game up at 1.
Drake tried to get the bunt on, and he fouled it behind home plate. No balls and a strike to count here to Messenger, who has Walker Paz on first and no one out here in the bottom of the first. Last game of this doubleheader, Messenger went 1 for 3 with a run scored and RBI. He had a bunt single. That was his hit. He also had that 6-3 RBI ground out. No balls and a strike the count here to Messenger with Paz on first. Messenger shows bunt, runner goes. Throw to second is in time. They caught Walker Paz stealing from first to second. Ball 1 was thrown to Messenger in that ensuing sequence of events. So Paz 2-4 caught stealing. 1 down now for the Hardhats. Here comes the 1-1. That's in there for strike 2. And quickly Messenger's behind a ball and 2 strikes. Zach Solano is on deck. Had a monster game last game as well. Next pitch to Messenger is swung on, and it is chopped over the head of both Pierce Kurth at third and Connor Polkowski at short. So that's going to be a single there for Drake Messenger. He is now on the base path with 1 out here in the bottom of the first. That's going to bring up Zach Solano. Zach Solano in the last game went 1 for 3 with 2 ribbies, a double, and a run scored. Messenger's on first, 1 out. Solano looks at strike 1. 0-1 is starting count.
Sometimes the field plays into your hand, and that was the case there with Messenger as that ball bounced over the head of both these infielders. Now he's on first. Now you got to try to get him across and tie this game up.
Solano looks at strike 2 on the outside corner, so there's no balls and 2 strikes to count here. The gentleman patrolling center field for the Hardhats. Colton Wickman on the mound here for the Billings Royals. Gives a look at Messenger on first. And here's the 0-2 to Solano. Swung on and drilled into left field. That ball is a base hit, and it's going to roll all the way to the warning track. And it's slightly bobbled on the play by Brock McDonald in left. Messenger gets the stop sign at third. There is Zach Solano on second. A huge sequence of events offensively for the Hardhats. Now 2 men in scoring position on second and third. Here comes the reigning American Legion Player of the Year in South Dakota, Matt Vickers.
And Vickers, who had a heck of a game last game, he ended up going 3 for 4 with an RBI, 2 RBIs and 3 singles. So he's having a very good day. And it looks like we're going to have a substitution out in left field. It looked like McDonald had just kind of came up and maybe strained something or rolled up under himself out there in left.
You're absolutely right. He doesn't look like the happiest person in the world right now. He is coming off the field, so Brock McDonald's day is going to come to a very abrupt conclusion here. Not even out of the bottom of the first. So it looks like we're still waiting on what exactly that substitution is going to be. And if I'm a betting man, I think Jake Orvis is coming out, and that's exactly who it is.
Yeah, I think Orvis, who was out there in the last game, is going to be out there once again, and that's tough. You never, the competition is always hard, and you never like to see anyone get injured. But it looks like he walked off. It was good. That's something to be thankful for.
Oh, absolutely right. So now Jake Orvis is going to take over, and obviously he will bat for Brock McDonald when that time comes around. Jake Orvis led off the last game, went 1 for 3 with a strikeout. But he's not coming up just yet. We have to wait until the top half of the second where he is due up. So now here comes Matt Vickers. 2 men in scoring position, 1 out here in the bottom of the first. 1 swing, the Hardhats could have a 2-1 lead. 1 swing, and they can tie it as well. First pitch to Vickers is ball 1 from Colton Wickman. Ball and no strikes the count. And if you're just joining us, Jake Orvis is now taking over left field patrol for Brock McDonald. Wickman checks both runners. Here's the 1-0 to Vickers. That catches the outside corner for strike 1. 1-1 now the count. Matt Vickers also had a great game in the first game of 2 now. 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs. 3 singles and a strikeout. Both runners looked at by Wickman. Here's the 1-1 to Vickers. Swung on and fouled. That's going to bring the count to a ball and 2 strikes against the reigning South Dakota American Legion Player of the Year.
That was tough there. Vickers understood that was his pitch to hit, and his hands got a little out in front of him before he was just anxious to send that one very far and high. So look for him to get another pitch there. He's going to drive it.
1-2 is swung on and lined to shortstop. Polkowski makes the catch, and he tags up on second, and that's going to do it. It's an L6 unassisted double play, and that will end the first inning. So the Hardhats don't get any runs. They do get 2 hits, no errors. And a man left stranded on third, 90 feet away from home. And at the end of 1 inning of play, the Royals have a 1-0 lead. Top of the second coming up. Line 1, Kurth, and now Jake Orvis due up for the Royals. We'll be right back, folks, as Riley McSherry and company take their respective defensive positions with the top of the second here on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball, here on ESPN Radio Rapid City, and stream live on the internet at post22live.com.
If you're a younger runner getting into running, you want a shoe that can do it all. You can train in, you can race in, it looks cool, has a lot of Under Armour attitude to it. That's the Bandit.
We call ourselves Bandits. That's the Under Armour way, right? It's how we design product. It's how we live our life here at Under Armour.
There's nothing more American than traveling around this great nation, enjoying the outdoors with your friends and family. Camping World is proud to have been here by your side for 50 years. With thousands of parts and accessories available, plus service at over 120 supercenters nationwide, plus an affordable RV for every budget. Camping World will proudly service you, the RV consumer, for another 50 years. Visit Camping World in Rapid City or shop campingworld.com today.
Honda knows you expect a lot from your car.
So here comes Jarrett Line 1, the right fielder for the Billings Royals, to kick off the top half of the second inning. It's Line 1, Pierce Kurt, the third baseman, and now Jake Orvis taking over in left field for Brock McDonald, who abruptly left on an injury in the bottom half of the first. Riley McSherry deals a first pitch strike to Line 1. He starts off with an 0-1 count. Line 1 went 0 for 1 last game with a walk, was stranded at third back in the top of the second. McSherry right back to his windup. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and missed. Strike 2. Went with a burning fastball for the first strike. Went off speed, swing and a miss, and now he's 1 pitch away from his first K.
And that's what one of the things that makes McSherry so effective is that change of speed, and that's why he gets so many ground balls. 71% of his hits are ground ball outs.
0-2, just up high. Line 1 laid off. Ball 2 strikes now the count. Pierce Kurth is on deck. He did not play in the first game. He did play yesterday, but this will be his first action today. Here's the 1-2 from McSherry to Line 1. Low and away, and the ball skips by Timmy Paris. Luckily, nobody on the base path to take advantage of that, so 2 balls and 2 strikes now the count.
You're looking as we get towards the middle part of this game for Riley McSherry to settle down a little bit and start throwing strikes like we know he can. he's doing a nice job early on.
2-2 is swung on and popped up. Shallow infield. Looks like it might be going out in foul territory, and it is. Justin Kramer's underneath it, and he didn't make the catch. Justin Kramer didn't make the catch, probably lost sight of it. And what is a pretty overcast day here. So it's still a 2-2 count here for Jarrett Linewan. That's a heck of a second life.
Yeah, that's real tough right there. You got to shake it off if your Kramer is in foul territory. No one on base, no damage done, but you got to make that play at this level. And, you know, it's tough. That backspin on the ball on those foul balls, they take really weird trajectories and angles up in the air. So, you know, that's one you got to come down with, but still in decent shape.
2-2 is swung on and ripped foul third base side. Chops just shy of the Hardhats dugout, so we will once again go right back to it at 2 balls and 2 strikes. This is now the 7th pitch of the at-bat coming up. Riley McSherry to Jarrett Linewan. Leadoff hitter for the top half of the second inning here, and time is once again called. Linewan back in the batter's box. McSherry waits for his sign, gives a nod of approval. He likes it. Here's a 2-2. Swung on and popped up again. This is coming shallow center field. Walker pauses underneath it from second, calls for it, makes the catch. 1 up, 1 down defensively for the Hardhats. P4 in the scorebook. Here comes Pierce Kurth.
Nice job there by Walker. We talk about his range so much, and that's why he can go out to shallow right center field and make that catch instead of having one of the outfielders charging in for it. So, you know, he has a lot of speed there at second, a really good glove, and a nice play to get that first out of the inning.
So now here comes the first pitch to Pierce Kurth for the day, and he looks at ball 1 for McSherry. 1-0 is the count.
Coming into this game, McSherry has a 167 batting average against him, so he doesn't allow many hits.
Next pitch to Kurth just misses the zone, up high, 2 balls, no strikes. The last time Kurth played was the second game of yesterday's doubleheader. He went 0 for 1 with 2 walks. I'm sorry, 1 for 2 with a walk and a single. Now he hits this one to second. Pauses there for the scoop. Throw to first is in time. Walker Paz, pretty busy in this inning. Pop 4, 4-3 now. 2 up, 2 down defensively for the Hardhats. Here comes Jake Orvis taking over for Brock McDonald.
Nice job there by Walker, and that's staying low in the zone. That ground ball is all credit to Riley McSherry, though. He stays low in the zone, and he stays on the outer part of the plate against these right-handed hitters, and they can't get their arms extended or catch up. They top the ball and ground it to Walker Paz every time.
First pitch from McSherry is a fireball of a fastball in there for strike 1. 0-1 the count here to Jake Orvis. He led off the last game, went 1 for 3 with a strikeout looking. He singled in his final at-bat of the game. Here's his 0-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Fastball caught the outside corner there as well. No balls, 2 strikes. McSherry 1 pitch away from K number 1 and from the conclusion of the top half of the second. Hardhats looking for a 1-2-3 inning. They're 1 pitch away from accomplishing that. McSherry deals. Swung on and missed, strike 3. 3 pitches. 3 up, 3 down. That is going to do it. It's a 1-2-3 inning defensively for the Hardhats, which means no runs, hits, errors, or anybody left on base. And at the end of an inning and a half, the Billings Royals still have a 1-0 lead. Post 22 Hardhats go back to the sticks with 5, 6, and 7 due up. Eric Petrie, the DH. Timmy Parris, the catcher. Hayden McGriff, the right fielder. We'll be right back, folks, in just a few moments with the bottom half of the second here on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball here on ESPN Radio Rapid City and streamed live on the internet at post22live.com.
But we wanted to give you even more. So we gave the Civic, the best-selling car in its class, even more horsepower. More room than ever. And a stylish new exterior. Introducing the all-new Civic, the 2016 North American Car of the Year. Nothing compares to a Honda.
Where will you find Black Hills State University graduates? Everywhere, locally, nationally, and internationally. Black Hills State University is where community leaders are inspired, where future teachers are prepared, where global connections lead to business connections, and where underground research is changing the way we understand the universe. Visit bhsu.edu and enroll now at Black Hills State University, where you can earn your degree affordably and with campuses in Spearfish and Rapid City. Stay in the beautiful Black Hills. Where does your future begin? At Black Hills State University, where anything is possible.
The the offensive entries now for the Hardhats here in the bottom half of the second inning. Petrie looks at strike one there, goes down to an 0-1 count. Eric Petrie went 0 for 1. He scored a run and walked twice. Struck out in his lone registered at bat. Here's the 0-1. That rides a little far inside. Ball and a strike now, the count.
And those 2 walks help account for that .550 on base percentage that Petrie enjoys right now. He's a .400 batting average. This is a kid that hits the ball very well and gets on base.
Next pitch to Petrie, swung on and turned on in the left field. That is a base hit, and it is going to roll all the way to the wall. Petrie's got his afterburners turned on. He is going to second. He has a leadoff stand-up double here in the bottom half of the second. In scoring position for the red-hot bat of Timmy Paris coming up.
Absolutely huge right there. Once again, we're talking about that first hitter of an inning getting on base, and not only did Petrie get on base, he got on base in scoring position. Just absolutely turned on a pitch here from Wickman and drilled it down the third base line out there in left and got it there with a stand-up double.
Timmy Paris has the best batting average on the Hardhats roster right now at an even .500, and he fouls off his first pitch for strike one. 0-1 the count, and the last time Timmy Paris saw action, which was last night in Game 2 of the doubleheader, he went 3 for 4. All 3 of his hits were doubles. So he's looking to switch places here, as you like to say, Teddy, with Eric Petrie on second. Here's the 0-1. That is low and in the dirt, but Dugai blocks it in front of him. Ball and a strike now, the count to Paris.
Drops a bit to 455, but I'd still take 455. That's still a very solid number when runners are on second or third.
1-1 to Paris, catches the outside corner. There's strike 2. Ball and 2 strikes now, the count here to Paris. He has Eric Petrie on second in scoring position, 180 feet away from home, with nobody out here in the bottom half of the second. Hardhats are down 1-0. One swing and Paris could tie this up. Here comes the 1-2. Swung on. Stops made on the play by Polkowski. He throws it to third, and they're going to catch Petrie, the lead runner. So it's a 6-5 fielder's choice. But Timmy Paris is now on the base path. One out here in the bottom half of the second. Here comes Hayden McGriff.
Yeah, that's tough there. Petrie unable to get out of the way. That ball was hit right at him. And Polkowski was standing behind Petrie, able to get it, and a smart play to go to third. But, you know, Petrie was kind of left out there in no man's land with that. But Paris still on base. You still have a runner, got to push him around.
First pitch to McGriff is a swing and a miss. 0-1 the count here to Hayden McGriff, with one man on first and one out. Last time McGriff played, that was back in Game 2 of yesterday's doubleheader, and he went 0 for 2 with a strikeout, reached on an error, and came around to score. Prior to that, he went 1 for 2 with an RBI double. Next pitch is low and away. That's going to even things at a ball and a strike. McGriff on the season's batting .357. He struck out 3 times at the plate. He's walked 3 times. 1-1 the count. Paris gets a look at on first from Wickman, and he deals. Swung on, and it's drilled right by a diving Connor Polkowski and into left field for a base hit. So a nice single there for Hayden McGriff. Advances Timmy Paris to second. Now he's in scoring position. 2 men on, 1 out. Here comes Cooper Bowman, and he has just simply been red hot this weekend.
Yeah, Cooper Bowman enjoying a very, very good weekend, and he's seen his average climb up now to 333. So, you know, that's a very respectable average for an 8-hole hitter, for any hitter in that matter, and he's looking to get an RBI here with Timmy Paris on second.
First pitch from Wickman catches the outside corner. That's strike 1 on Bowman. No balls and a strike to count. Last game, Bowman went 1 for 3, had a run scored and a stolen base. The game prior to that ended up having a bases-clearing 3-run RBI triple. That was Game 2 of yesterday's doubleheader, and Bowman quickly looks at strike 2. Behind 0-2 with 2 men on first and second, and only 1 out here in the bottom of the second, the Hardhats trailing by 1. Should a double play not end this inning, Justin Kramer's on deck. Here's the 0-2. Swung on, and it's chopped foul, first base side. That's going to keep the count at a ball. No balls and 2 strikes.
What you'd like to see there from Bowman in the box is you get that breaking pitch, and he was way out in front of it a little bit, so you want him to wait on it, get in his wheelhouse, and then let him unload, because he's got a lot of power and a very good hitter, but you'd like to just see him kind of wait on those pitches instead of trying to get out in front of him.
0-2 is low. Dugai blocks it in front of him, though. So now it's a ball and 2 strikes here for Cooper Bowman. Justin Kramer patiently awaiting for his chance to step in the batter's box. He's currently in the on-deck circle. Timmy Paris is on second. Hayden McGriff's on first. Next pitch to Bowman is swung on, and it's chopped to second. Zimmer gets the stop, and then he bobbles the ball. And everybody's safe, and the bases are now loaded for Justin Kramer. With 1 out here in the bottom half of the second, they're going to charge that as an E4.
Absolutely. Zimmer already taking his eye off the ball, looking to flip it to Polkowski to try and get the double play ball to end it. However, you take your eye off the ball for just a split second, that ends up happening, and it popcorns out of your glove. So, a nice job running hard for Bowman and all these runners to make it safe on base.
First pitch to Kramer rides up high and inside. 1-0 is his count. Kramer has the bases loaded with 1 out here in the bottom of the second. The Hardhats 1 swing away from tying, potentially taking a lead over the Billings Royals. Bowman on first, McGriff on second, Paris on third. And now Kramer looks at ball 2, and he's ahead 2-0.
Might not even be 1 swing away the way this at-bat started. He could just be 2 pitches away.
Kramer went 0 for 1 the last game with a walk, an RBI, and 2 runs scored. Here's a 2-0. That one's low. Does not skip away from DeGuy. He makes a great catch to keep that near his person. 3 balls, no strikes to count. Kramer 1 pitch away from a free trip to first. That would even the game up at 1 like Teddy was talking about. Major clairvoyance points on the line here for Teddy, so we'll see what happens here. Wickman deals the 3-0. That's in there for strike 1. 3-1 now the count here to Kramer.
I was sitting there in my head asking for no whammies, and boom, got one dealt right there with that strike.
3 balls, 1 strike from Wickman to Kramer. He's got the bases loaded. Next pitch is swung on and drilled into left field, and that is caught on the play by Jake Orvis. However, tagging up from third is Timmy Paris. He's going to score. It's an RBI flyout for Justin Kramer. Now 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. The Hardhats are now all square at 1.
That's now in 2 straight games. Kramer doing a really nice job with the bases loaded. He gets that RBI sac fly, and that's all you need. That's all you tie the game up. Now the go-ahead run still in scoring position with Hayden McGriff on second, and we're back to Walker Paz, who's looking to get a base hit to try and bring him in.
First pitch to Paz is up high for ball 1. 1-0 is the count to Paz, who, as Teddy mentioned, has men on first and second. That's Bowman on first, McGriff on second. Paz walked the first time he was up, and then he was caught stealing. Wickman checks both runners, gives a double take to McGriff on second. Next pitch to Paz, rights high and outside. 2 balls, no strikes. And a big sac fly RBI there for Justin Kramer. Ties the game up at 1. Here comes the 2-0. Swung on and popped up. Foul. Might thud in our building. There it is. 2 balls and a strike, now the count.
That ball hung up a little bit. We were all anticipating the thud, just waiting for when it's going to happen, but hung up a little bit. And now with only 1 strike, Walker is still looking for his pitch over that inner part of the plate, looking to try and pull it and get it into right field.
Next pitch is a breaking ball that misses low and away. 3 balls and a strike now to Walker Paz. 1 pitch away from his second free trip on the base path, which would load the bases up for Drake Messenger. Got a great quality single the last time he was up. Here comes the 3-1. That's up high, ball 4. So Walker Paz walks twice in this game. He is on the base path, and now the bases are loaded as McGriff moves to third. Bowman moves to second. That's going to bring up Drake Messenger with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second.
And that's now the 9th walk of the season for Walker Paz in only the 10th game. So, this is one kid that's very patient at the plate. He watches every pitch. He'll usually take a pitch, and that's why he ends up on base so much.
Messenger hits that one into left. Orvis is underneath it, makes the catch, and he ends the threat out there with a fly out to left. So the Hardhats get 1 run in the inning on 1 hit, 1 error defensively for the Billings Royals, and the bases left loaded. And at the end of 2 full innings, we are once again all square at 1 run aside with the top of the 3rd inning now coming up. Due up in the top of the 3rd for the opposition in the Billings Royals are the DH Carson Zale hitting in the 9 hole, and then it's right back to the top of the order to Connor Polkowski with a walk, and Patrick Zimmer with that sacrifice bunt. We'll be right back, folks, in just a few moments here on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball, here on ESPN Radio Rapid City, and stream live on the internet at post22live.com.
Maintaining healthy eyes requires regular vision exams. Dr. Paula Sorensen at Envision Optical and Eye Care strives to provide quality vision solutions and exceptional customer service. She values the opportunity to build a lifelong friendly relationship with you and your family. Envision Optical and Eye Care on West Main, across from the Guard Camp.
This is Mark the Freedom Poet, and I want to tell you about two wonderful candidates for South Dakota legislature, Sean McPherson and Craig Eriks. I've known both of them for many years, and I trust them to be faithful champions of our precious Constitution. That includes how they defend our Bill of Rights. Faith, family, and freedom are very important to these men, and they cannot be bought or pressured to vote for anything that they think is harmful.
Post 22 Hardhats Baseball here on ESPN Radio Rapid City is brought to you by SoundPro, the Physical Therapy Center, courtesy Subaru, Pioneer Bank and Trust, Pawn With Us, Shields, Ponderosa Screen Printing and Embroidery, and Advanced Dental. Riley McSherry deals his first pitch low and away to Carson Zale, the DH. Played second base in the last game. He starts off 1-0. It's Carson Zale, the 9-hole hitter and DH, then back to the top of the order to Connor Polkowski and Patrick Zimmer. 1-0 is swung on, and it's chopped to short. Bowman charges. Throw to first is not there. It goes by Matt Vickers, and it goes all the way to the wall. And Carson Zale is going to go to second. So Cooper Bowman tried to get the throw to first there to Vickers, just went wide. And now there's a man in scoring position. Back to Connor Polkowski at the top of the order.
That's a real tough play there. It was a slow roller to Bowman at short, and he fielded it cleanly, got it out of his glove, and it was just a tough throw over to Vickers. Tried to dig it out of the dirt there, but just unable to. And now you have a runner in scoring position. You got to come back and get Polkowski here at the plate.
Polkowski tries to lay down the bunt, and he knocks it foul. Great fielding by the umpire behind home plate, though, getting that ball on the hop. 0-1 the starting count here to Polkowski, and he has Carson Zale now in scoring position on second. No one out here in the top of the third. Polkowski walked the last time he was up, came around to score the only run on the board there for the Billings Royals. McSherry gives a look to Zale at second. Deals his 0-1 to Polkowski. That's a swing and a miss, strike two. Polkowski originally went for the bunt, tried to move Zale over to third. This time he swings away, and now he's down 0-2.
Yeah, tried to get on base with that bunt single, but just fouled it away and then had to swing away. Now McSherry in control completely over Polkowski.
No balls, 2 strikes the count. Man on second, nobody out here in the top of the third. 0-2. Caught him looking, strike 3. Riley McSherry gets K number 2 in this start. 1 down, still with that man in scoring position. That's going to bring up Patrick Zimmer.
Real nice command with that off-speed pitch, that slider that moves as a right-hand pitcher. It moves away from these right-handed hitters on that outside part of the plate. And, that's almost an unhittable pitch. Even if you try to hit it, you'll bury it straight into the ground in front, and it'll be a ground ball to Walker Paws every time.
First pitch now to Zimmer's low and away for ball 1. 1-0 is the count to Zimmer, who had that very interesting sacrifice bunt. I swear he could have swung at the ball and still had the same distance on how he pushed that bunt. To his credit, he got it off. It was a 1-3 sacrifice. On deck is Cole McKenzie should a crazy scenario double play not end this inning with the man only on second. Next pitch catches the inside corner for strike 1, and now a ball and a strike is the count to Patrick Zimmer.
Riley McSherry's getting so much movement on his pitches. We know he can throw his off-speed stuff and his 2-seamers very well, but today it's something different. He is getting so much movement on these off-speed pitches. It's just freezing these hitters.
1-1, fastball rides up high. 2 balls and a strike now the count from McSherry to Zimmer. On deck is Cole McKenzie, who was 0 for 1. He flew out to Drake Messenger and left the last time he was up. Patrick Zimmer still has that man on second in Carson Zale. Here's a 2-1. Swung on and hit in the air to right. McGriff's tracking, he's underneath it, and he makes the catch. Zale tags up from second. He goes into third. The throw gets there, and it's not in time. Oh, so close. Justin Kramer thought he ended the inning on an F9-5 double play, but Carson Zale is on third with 2 outs.
I can't agree with that one. McGriff just absolutely gunned it. That was a perfect throw. Had him dead to rights. Kramer with a nice tag, and I don't know how you get a safe call right there, but the inning continues, and now you got to see Cole McKenzie. You got to shake it off and come right back and try to get McKenzie here in the batter's box.
First pitch comes to McKenzie. 0 for 1 is swung on a popped-up foul, and it goes over our building, so we're not going to get a thud, as hilarious as they are. No balls and a strike, the starting count here to McKenzie, and I do have to agree with you. That, I mean, it's still a bang-bang play, but from where we were standing up here, no doubt in my mind he was out. 0-1, swung on and missed, off-speed inside. No balls, 2 strikes. Once again, McSherry in full control of this count.
Yeah, and that throw from McGriff, he deserved that out. That was an absolute rocket over there from right field, and tough call.
0-2 is swung on and hit to center, and it lands for a base hit. So there is a 2-out RBI single there for Cole McKenzie as Zale scores from third. And now the Billings Royals are once again back on top, 2-1 the score here with 2 outs in the top of the third.
McSherry doing a nice job hitting his spots, tried to jam up Cole McKenzie there on the inside part, but McKenzie just shortened his swing, brought his hands a little closer, and went opposite field and blooped it in between the triangle there of Bowman, Messenger, and Solano.
Check down to first, doesn't get there in time, so McKenzie stays on the bag. Cal Bjorgum's now up. He's 1 for 1 with an RBI single. So the 3 and 4 hitters for this Billings Royals team getting the job done as they did the very first time both of these teams went head-to-head. McKenzie goes. And a ball is the pitch. McKenzie's just going to take a free pass to second. You can call that one a defensive indifference, I believe.
Well, I am unsure why that ball didn't get thrown down to second to try and at least get McKenzie there at second. But, stolen base there from McKenzie now in scoring position here.
Next pitch is high and outside. 2 balls, no strikes now the count to Bjorgum, who has 2 outs and a man in Cole McKenzie, 180 feet away from home in scoring position. Billings has a 2-1 lead. Cal Bjorgum hit his RBI single with 2 outs the last time he was up. He's looking to recreate that success. McSherry checks McKenzie on second, and time is called. Cal Bjorgum 1 for 1 RBI single has a chance to do some damage again. Should McSherry end the inning here, Zach Solano, Matt Vickers, and Eric Petrie would be due up here in the bottom half of the third. McSherry deals a 2-0. That's swung on and chopped to first. Vickers can't get the stop, and it goes all the way into right field. McKenzie's going to score. Bjorgum is into second. And now the Billings Royals have a 3-1 lead. 2 outs here in the top of the third.
A real tough at-bat there for Vickers, and they are going to charge an error to Vickers as that one just went right underneath his glove. That was a pretty routine ground ball, and it looked like he was trying to he was looking at the bag, and we saw that with Zimmer for Billings in the last inning. You take your eye off the ball just for a second, and it can do damage to you and absolutely skip out of the way.
So now here comes Morgan Dugai with Bjorgum standing on second. His first pitch is caught on a dive by Hayden McGriff, and that's going to do it. So McGriff ends the top half of the third for the Hardhats on defense. And that will do it for 2.5 innings of play here at Floyd Fitzgerald Stadium in Game 2 of this doubleheader. Well, the Royals end up plating 2 runs on 1 hit, 2 errors defensively for the Hardhats, and that man in Cal Bjorgum left stranded on the base path in scoring position. 2.5 in the books. The Hardhats now trail 3-1 to the Billings Royals. Back to the sticks they go, with Zach Solano, Matt Vickers, and Eric Petrie due up. Right back here in just a few moments, folks, on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball here on ESPN Radio Rapid City, and stream live on the internet at post22live.com.
Individual freedom or our precious republic. Please vote June 7th in the Republican primary for Craig Eriks and Sean McPherson.
Paid for by Eriks for SD House and McPherson for House.
At Farm Bureau, when we talk about protecting what matters most, we're not just talking about things with walls and things with wheels. We're talking about people, your family. Everything that's important to you is important to us. That's why our agents are ready to help protect your future and give you peace of mind today. Visit us online or just stop by to see how Farm Bureau agents make insurance simple.
Contact Jeff or Julie in Rapid City, South Dakota to see how they make insurance simple.
Rapid City Medical Center honors tradition. Hi, I'm Jennifer Tricano, Chief Executive Officer. Owned by physicians, we love this community because it's our home. We coach Little League, are veterans of the armed forces, and send our kids to school with yours. 14 specialties in all, we've treated your family's healthcare needs since 1948. Like post-22 baseball, we set higher expectations for ourselves.
So that's a breaking ball that doesn't break down. Zach Solano looks at ball one. Solano is 1 for 1 with a double in this game. He is followed by Matt Vickers, who grounded out into a line out to shortstop. Shortstop on assisted double play. Solano looks at ball two. 2 knows the counts. That's an L6U in the scorebook. And then Eric Petrie hit a double and was caught at third in a fielder's choice. 2-0 the count here from Colton Wickman to Zach Solano. And he deals. Just missed low and inside. Quickly, Solano way ahead in this count, 3-0.
And Wickman working really fast up there on the mound. He's starting to find his groove a little bit. And now if you're these hitters, you want to send him off of that groove.
3-0 is in there for strike. 3-1 now the count to Solano. A monster weekend for him. He hit 2 home runs in 2 games yesterday. Absolutely torching the ball. 3-1's low and inside, and he gets a leadoff walk. So in 3 straight innings, the Hardhats have the leadoff man on the base path. Walker Paz walked in the bottom half of the first. Eric Petrie doubled in the bottom of the second. Now Zach Solano walks in the bottom of the third. Here comes Matt Vickers with a man on and no one out here. The bottom half of the third inning. He is the tying run at the plate.
Big at bat here for Vickers. You want to get on base and you want to push Solano across as well.
First pitch catches the outside corner for strike 1. No balls and a strike to count here to Vickers. Vickers in this game 0 for 1. Like I said, he grounded out into that, hit into that L6U double play. Line out to the shortstop, and then the shortstop tags second. Here's the 0-1 to Vickers. Swung on, and it's hit foul first base side on a chopper. Quickly, he is behind. No balls and 2 strikes.
Now you just got to shorten up your swing. Look for that inside part. Look for a pitch to pull. Vickers is very effective when he can pull pitches down into right field. So if he can get anything over the plate or anything on the inside part, look for him to really make him pay.
0-2 is just fouled off the end of his barrel. And he stays alive. No balls and 2 strikes to count with Zach Solano standing on first. No one's out here in the bottom of the third. The Hardhats trail 3-1 to the Billings Royals. Looking to get back into this game. Here's the 0-2. Breaking ball, skips away from Dugai. And that's going to be ball 1 to Vickers, and Zach Solano's going to take off for second.
Now with a runner in scoring position in Solano, it's now even more important for Vickers to make contact with the ball. Don't go down at the plate. At least put the ball in play and try and get Solano over to third with no outs here in the bottom of the third.
Time is called now, and Dugai's going to come out to the mound and have a brief chat here with Colton Wickman, the Billings Royals starting pitcher. Zach Solano now on second in scoring position on that passed ball. Matt Vickers has a 1 ball and 2 strike count. As Teddy mentioned, he's looking to drive it and score Solano from second. And Solano has the speed that, depending on where he places that base hit, he's coming home.
Absolutely, and with runners in scoring position, Vickers bats .385. So you like what he brings to the table when he's at the plate, and especially with runners in scoring position, he's absolutely clutch.
1-2 to Vickers, caught him looking, strike 3 on the outside corner. So Vickers goes down on strikes, backwards K in the scorebook. Man in scoring position for the Hardhats still with Solano on second, 1 down. Here comes Eric Petrie.
Well, that was I don't get any clairvoyance points there. That was tough. That's a real tough pitch. You don't want to go down looking, but Petrie, a very good hitter coming up, looking to pick up Solano on second.
First pitch to Petrie is fouled first base side. Hits the light scaffolding there. No balls and a strike to count.
I was wondering how long it was going to take this weekend. I've watched quite a few, probably 6 or 7 of these balls go right next to these lights, and one of them finally clipped it.
No balls and a strike to count here to Eric Petrie. Solano on second, 1 out. And his next pitch skips away from Dugai again, and Solano is going to take third. So now Eric Petrie has a 1-1 count, and a man 90 feet away from home plate to his right on third base. Sac fly clearly in effect now.
Absolutely. If you can get something into the outfield, even a ground ball to the middle infield, you could see Solano coming home.
1-1's foul directly behind home plate. Ball and 2 strikes now the count to Eric Petrie, behind to Colton Wickman, the starting pitcher for Game 2 here for the Billings Royals. Hardhats won the first game in 5 innings, 11-1. They have won 2 out of 3 played out of the 4 going on. 1-2 is swung on and fouled again. Petrie staying alive, racking up the pitch count of Colton Wickman.
Yeah, that's what you need. Wickman already throwing 56 pitches now in this game. That's not terribly bad. You know his pitch count's still staying low, but it's at bats like this that'll get it up there.
1-2. Petrie doesn't fish for the high fastball there. 2 balls, 2 strikes now the count. Petrie has Zach Solano on third. And Timmy Paris on deck. Here's the 2-2. Breaking ball missed low. And now Petrie has pushed this count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes, 1 out here in the bottom of the third. Hardhats trail 3-1. Wickman checks the runner at third. Payoff pitch skips away from Dugai. That's ball 4. But Solano does not charge for home. So he stays stationary on third. Eric Petrie calmly trots and takes his position on first. Men on the corners now. 1 out here in the bottom of the third. Timmy Paris has a chance to put the Hardhats within striking distance. And he grounded into a 6-5 fielder's choice. Came around to score, though, the only run of that the Hardhats have in this game.
Petrie with a good set of wheels on him. He could be in motion here to try to get these 2 runners in scoring position. You don't know when it'll be in this at bat.
Timmy Paris fouls off his first pitch. No balls and a strike to count.
But you're definitely going to want to get these runners, going around, trying to get them moving around the base path. And Timmy Paris, if he can put one into the outfield, you can see both of these gentlemen scoring one swing of the bat.
Here comes the 0-1 to Paris. Swung on and missed. Strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes now the count. For Timmy Paris, it was Eric Petrie 90 feet away from home to his right on first. And Zach Solano 90 feet from home to his left on third. And time is now called. Timmy Paris behind, no balls and 2 strikes. 1 out here in the bottom of the third. Billings has a 3-1 lead. 2 runs plated in the top of this inning to take their spot ahead of the Hardhats. 0-2 is swung on and hit by the shortstop, Connor Polkowski, and into left center for a base hit. And Timmy Paris brings the Hardhats within striking distance. 3-2 now the score, with men on first and second and 1 out here in the bottom of the third for Hayden McGriff coming up.
Real nice job there by Timmy Paris, hitting that right back up the middle and out past the outstretched glove of Polkowski. So getting that RBI single, that was huge there to pick up that run. And now, they're going to charge an error to Polkowski as that one skipped under his glove. So it'll be an error on Polkowski, but still getting that RBI.
E6 in the scorebook, and that ball gets away from Dugai, and everybody's going to advance to scoring position. So now Timmy Paris is on second. Eric Petrie, the most immediate threat on the base path for the Hardhats now. 90 feet away from tying this game up at 3. Right now the score is 3-2. Hayden McGriff has a 1-0 count now, already 1 for 1 in this game with a single. Next pitch to McGriff is in there for strike 1, and everything's even now at a ball and a strike. Hayden McGriff on Wednesday against the Gillette Post 42 Riders hit his first home run of the season. Absolutely drilled it to left center. Wickman checks the runners. 1-1's low and away, and it gets by Dugai. Goes all the way to the backstop. Throw home is not in time. And Eric Petrie scores from third. He ties the game up at 3. 2-1 the count now to McGriff with 1 out here in the bottom of the third.
Good base running there by Petrie, and once again that slide working very well, getting underneath these tags and just playing fundamental baseball, being mindful of where they're at, the situation that they're in. And now Timmy Paris and Eric Petrie both get an advance, and that'll put Paris on third base with 1 out. Sac fly still in effect.
2-1, rides up high, gets away again from Dugai. Paris hustles home. The Hardhats have a 4-3 lead. Back-to-back pass balls, and now the bases are empty here for Hayden McGriff, who has a 3-1 count. 1 out here in the bottom of the third. Hardhats up 4-3.
Yeah, jumping off the lead, and you think the Hardhats are starting to smell blood. This could be the big inning that they need. Already plated 3 so far, and only 1 out. So it could be a long inning here for this Billings pitching staff, and Hayden McGriff is looking to start it off. Now with the bases cleared, he's looking to get something going of his own, try and put himself in scoring position.
As we stand in this inning, the Hardhats have plated 3 runs on not a single hit, 1 error defensively for the Billings Royals.
And 2 walks and 2 pass balls that allowed runs to come in. So it's kind of been a self-imploding inning for this Billings team. And I think we're going to see the end of Morgan Dugai, and Jarrett Linewan's coming in from right field, and he's going to be taking over the catching duties here for this Billings Royals team.
Oh, you're absolutely right. We have another substitution coming up. Linewan played catcher in the last game. Actually, didn't do that bad a job behind the plate, but Morgan Dugai, he's had a tough go today. To my count, there have been 4 pass balls in this game. The last 2 have scored runs.
Yeah, back-to-back, and back-to-back pitches. That just can't happen as a catcher. And I know the balls are going to get passed, and it's going to happen. I understand that, but you can't allow these pass balls, especially on one that one of them should easily have been caught, and the one that went up to score Timmy Paris, and so that's why this Billings coaching staff is deciding, hey, it's time to make a catching change.
There may also be a defensive substitution in right field there. I believe Linewan will take over at catcher, as Teddy had mentioned, but Cameron Maciel is out of the dugout. He's throwing some practice throws here. He might be going out into right field.
We could definitely see him out there in right, and with Linewan coming out, well, they're going to need a new right fielder out there, so they're going to give Linewan here a few warm-up throws. He shouldn't need too many because he just got done playing a full game at catcher. So you give him a couple warm-ups, and we'll get back to some baseball.
So Colton Wickman, in the meantime, just throwing some warm-up pitches to stay loose here. The next batter he's going to face, well, he's still facing Hayden McGriff. He's got a 3-1 count. And I was correct in that assessment. Cameron Maciel is now taking over in right field. So Morgan Dugai's day has ended.
And I believe that will put Maciel batting for Morgan Dugai in that 5 spot. We could see something different. And Maciel's actually going to left with Orvis going to right, so we'll get another switch around here, and just can't seem to catch up.
Oh, you're absolutely right. So now Orvis is in right. Maciel is in left. So 3-1 the count here for Colton Wickman to Hayden McGriff. Throughout this whole shuffle, Hayden still hasn't had Brat to finish, and he gets ball 4. So that didn't take long for him to get back on the base path. So Hayden McGriff is on first. There is still 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd. Hardhats have plated 3. They now have a 4-3 lead over the Billings Royals. Here comes the red-hot Cooper Bowman, who reached on an error first time he was up. First pitch is swung on and popped up. That goes to shallow center. From second, it's Zimmer. Cole McKenzie calls him off, though. Very gutsy move there, but Cole McKenzie makes the catch. So that is a pop 8 in the scorebook there. 2 outs now for the Hardhats on offense. Justin Kramer, the 9-hole hitter, now comes up with a man on first and 2 down.
Yeah, it was a gutsy call there from McKenzie, but he did have the better angle on the ball. These outfielders charging in have a way better angle on the ball, and as one of the leaders of this team, if he's calling this Billings team off, then they're getting out of his way to let him make that catch.
First pitch from Wickman to Kramer is up high for ball 1. 1-0 is the count to Justin Kramer, who had that RBI sac fly to left field to, at the time, put the only run on the board for the Hardhats. That knocked in Timmy Paris. Here's the 1-0. That is low in the zone. 2 balls and no strikes is count.
And now this Billings team is real worried about the bunt and the speed here of Kramer. Kurth is creeping up every time this pitch is about to be thrown. They understand that he beat him before, and they're not going to let him do it again.
2-0 is in there for a strike. And taking off for second was Hayden McGriff, and he is caught stealing. So that is going to end the inning. That is a 2-4 caught stealing. So Justin Kramer is going to resume his at-bat with the new count at the bottom half of the 4th. In the meantime, the Hardhats get 3 runs on no hits, 1 error defensively for the Royals, and no one left on the base path. And after 3 full innings of play, the Hardhats have battled back. They now have a 4-3 lead over the Billings Royals with the top of the 4th inning coming up. Riley McSherry takes back to the mound, and the Hardhats take to their respective defensive positions. McSherry faces 6, 7, and 8 in the order: Jarrett Linewan, Pierce Kurth, and Jake Orvis. We'll be right back, folks, here on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball here on ESPN Radio Rapid City. Stream live on the internet at post22live.com.
Because that's what our legacy demands. Call 342-3280 for an appointment.
If you're a younger runner getting into running, you want a shoe that can do it all. You can train in, you can race in, it looks cool, has a lot of Under Armour attitude to it. That's the Bandit.
We call ourselves Bandits. That's the Under Armour way, right? It's how we design product. It's how we live our life here at Under Armour.
There's nothing.
Jarrett Linewan now catching for the Billings Royals will lead off here in the top half of the 4th. And his first pitch is ripped into center. That's a base hit. So Zach Solano gets that into Cooper Bowman, and there's Linewan. 1 pitch, 1 hit, 1 man on base. Here comes Pierce Kurth, the third baseman.
Yeah, really good contact. He met the barrel of the bat, and the ball met right over the plate, and he sent it right back up in the center field back to Solano, who played it off a hop. Nice job getting it in quick. You just got to call that one a win for the hitter and go back at him if you're McSherry here.
McSherry goes to off speed for his first pitch to Kurth, and that's in there for strike 1. No balls in a strike the count here to Pierce Kurth, who's 0 for 1, grounded out to Walker Paz. Paz was pretty busy in the early stages of this game. Here's his 0-1. Kurth shows bunt, and he fouls it. So unless he's feeling lucky, that eliminates the sac bunt. No balls, 2 strikes to count.
Going to have to swing away here now if you're Kurth, and 0 for 1 up to this point. If Riley McSherry can get another ground ball here to Walker Paz like in the first at bat, you can see the bases clearing.
Next pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3. So a big strikeout there for Riley McSherry. That is number 3 on the afternoon. See, I got my timing right here. And that's going to bring up Jake Orvis, the right fielder now, with 1 on and 1 out. Double play ball in effect to end the inning.
Huge, and look for McSherry to stay low in that zone. Really work for that double play.
Orvis drops the bunt, but it goes foul, first base side. So everybody's going to have to retreat to their respective positions. Linewan back to first, Orvis back to the batter's box. No balls and a strike the count. With 1 out on the board, they're trying to trade 1 to move Linewan to second. Orvis came in on a defensive substitution in left field for Brock McDonald, who injured himself back in the bottom of the 1st. Cameron Maciel came into right after Linewan came from right to be the catcher now for the Royals. So Jake Orvis moved to right. Cameron Maciel went to left. There's the next pitch. Catches the outside corner on that slider there. Strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes to count from McSherry to Orvis. 1 on, man on first.
And that takes away that bunt option here for Orvis. Now he's going to have to swing away, so look for McSherry to really just come after him with that high heat.
0-2, swung on and popped up. Foul and out of play. High heat, well played. No balls, 2 strikes.
The 2-seamer had a lot of move. I'm just floored right now at how McSherry's pitching and how much movement are on his pitches. He's moving around the zone, and it's a real treat to be seeing this because, you know, he's really throwing well and throwing hard today.
0-2 is swung on and hit to short. Bowman gets the stop. 6, 4, 3, double play. He got it. Matt Vickers with the scoop at first. It's a 6-4-3 double play, and that will end the inning defensively for the Hardhats. It's no runs on a hit, no errors, not a single man left on the base path. And at the end of 3.5 innings of play, the Hardhats have preserved their 4-3 lead. Back to the sticks they go in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Due up for the Hardhats. We go back to the top of the order to Walker Paz, Drake Messenger, and Zach Solano. We'll be right back, folks, here on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball here on ESPN Radio Rapid City and streamed live on the internet at post22live.com.
Nothing more American than traveling around this great nation, enjoying the outdoors with your friends and family. Camping World is proud to have been here by your side for 50 years. With thousands of parts and accessories available, plus service at over 120 supercenters nationwide. plus an affordable RV for every budget. Camping World will proudly service you, the RV consumer, for another 50 years. Visit Camping World in Rapid City or shop campingworld.com today.
Honda knows you expect a lot from your car. But we wanted to give you even more. So we gave the Civic, the best-selling car in its class, even more horsepower. More room than ever. And a stylish new exterior. Introducing the all-new Civic, the 2016 North American Car of the Year. Nothing compares to a Honda.
Where will you?
Post 22 Hardhats Baseball here on ESPN Radio Rapid City is brought to you by SoundPro, Physical Therapy Center, Courtesy Subaru, Pioneer Bank and Trust, Pawn With Us, Shields, Ponderosa Screen Printing and Embroidery, and Advanced Dental. Bottom half of the fourth inning now coming up. And Justin Kramer actually leads off this inning. I forgot he was still at the plate when there was Hayden McGriff caught for stealing. Kramer's first pitch is popped to shallow infield. Bjorgum charges it, and he makes the catch. Wow. Bjorgum with a huge defensive play. One up, one down on one pitch for the Hardhats. Now we go back to the top of the order to Walker Paz.
That was a tough play. I don't know why. It was a good play from Bjorgum. I don't know why he called the pitcher off there to make the web gem, but it was a heck of a web gem to watch. He was full extension on that slide, so, nice pop out to nice exciting infield pop out.
Paz looks at strike one here from Colton Wickman, still on the mound for the Billings Royals. He is the starting pitcher for this team. Wickman right back to it, deals the 0-1 to Paz. That catch is low at outside. Ball and a strike now the count.
And Wickman about to throw a 75th pitch of the day, so I don't think we're going to see him pass this inning much. I don't see any action in the bullpen here for Billings, so we could see Wickman going for quite a while here in this game.
Paz showed bunt, then pulled back, but that pitch was called strike two on the outside corner. So Paz is behind a ball and 2 strikes now with 1 out in the bottom half of the fourth. Hardhats trying to build on a 4-3 lead. Paz swings at a breaking ball, and he rips it into center for a base hit. So Paz battles back on a 1-2 pitch, and he gets his first hit of the day. Or rather, in this game, I should say. Gets his first hit of the game. Now 2 walks and a single, so he's been on the base path all 3 times he's been up in game 2 here, this doubleheader. Drake Messenger comes up with a single, 1 for 2 on this second game.
Yeah, I was a little worried there because I was like, I'm pretty sure Walker got hit in last game, and he got 2. I had to double check myself, so he's having a heck of a game this game too, reaching base all 3 times.
Messenger chops that one to third. Kurth gets the stop. It's a 5-4-3 double play. They got it. And that is going to end the bottom half of the fourth. So a very quick stint on the offense there for the Hardhats. They will now take their respective defensive positions. Riley McSherry once again back on the mound here for the top of the 5th inning. For the Hardhats, it was no runs on a hit, no errors, and nobody left on the base path. And at the end of 4 full innings, it's the Hardhats still up 4-3 on the Billings Royals. 9-1-2 in the order, due up for the opposition of the Hardhats, and that's Carson Zale, the DH, and then back to the top to Connor Polkowski, 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout, and Patrick Zimmer, 0 for 1 with a sacrifice bunt and a flyout. We'll be right back, folks, here on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball, here on ESPN Radio Rapid City, and stream live on the internet at post22live.com.
You find Black Hills State University graduates everywhere, locally, nationally, and internationally. Black Hills State University is where community leaders are inspired, where future teachers are prepared, where global connections lead to business connections, and where underground research is changing the way we understand the universe. Visit bhsu.edu and enroll now at Black Hills State University, where you can earn your degree affordably and with campuses in Spearfish and Rapid City. Stay in the beautiful Black Hills. Where does your future begin? At Black Hills State University, where anything is possible.
The DH, Carson Zale, now takes his position in the Billings right-handed batter's box. Riley McSherry still on the mound here for the top of the 5th. Steps off the rubber, takes some time before he throws his first pitch here to Zale. He will face Zale and then go back to the top of the order to Polkowski and Zimmer. And now once again, McSherry steps off. It looks like Timmy Paris is coming out to have a quick word here with McSherry. Mark Benetti and Teddy Leipold alongside you in the broadcast booth here on ESPN Radio Rapid City, the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball. You're on 1340 AM and 105.7 FM. We're also streamed live on the internet with pristine video quality, I should say, on post22live.com.
And we'll give a shout-out for that pristine video to Ben sitting to my left. You're right. You go coming out with the sports ticket, just doing his thing and, letting everybody watch these games that can't be here live.
And enjoying some great baseball, too, while he's at it. McSherry deals a fastball in there for strike one. 0-1 the starting count here to Carson Zale, who reached on an error, came around to score last time he was up. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, they're saying he did. No balls and 2 strikes to count now to Carson Zale.
That's how much movement McSherry's pitches are generating right now. Zale didn't even know if he wanted to swing, and he tried to hold back but just couldn't.
Quick delivery here from McSherry. There's a pop foul, and that goes about 3 rows out of play behind the meshing of home plate. No balls, 2 strikes, still the count here to Zale. He reached on that E6 and then came around to score what was the second of what are currently 3 runs scored by the Royals. McSherry back to his full windup. Here's the 0-2. Swung on, and it's drilled to short. Bowman able to get the stop. Long throw to first is not in time. What a great effort nonetheless by Cooper Bowman. It's an infield single for Carson Zale. He's on the base path. Man on first with nobody out here in the top of the 5th. And now back to the top of the order we go to Connor Polkowski.
Yeah, that was a heck of a play. Bowman off his back foot, falling backwards, chucked it. It was a perfect throw to Vickers there. But Zale just able to leg it out, get that single there. But you got to give Cooper Bowman a lot of credit. That was a very good effort play. It doesn't look good in the stat book, but it was a good effort play that sticks with you.
Bunt is showed by Polkowski, and he went around. That ball was outside, but that's strike 1 to Polkowski. No balls and a strike to count. Polkowski is 0 for 1. He walked, came around to score the first of the 3 Billings runs, and then he struck out looking the last time he was up back at the top of the 3rd. 1 of 3 strikeout victims on the afternoon for McSherry. McSherry checked down to first, doesn't get there in time. Great pickoff move by McSherry, though. That's lightning off the mound.
Yeah, he has that quick feet, just like Sherbensky we talked about in that first game. He has that really quick feet. The only added advantage to McSherry is he has a stronger arm because he does play shortstop every once in a while, and he has a very strong arm.
The 0-1 misses behind Polkowski. Ball and a strike now the count to the gentleman playing at the shortstop position for the Billings Royals. Carson Zale's on first. He got a very well-earned infield single to Cooper Bowman to get in that position on first. Connor Polkowski, 1-1 count. Shows bunt, and he fouls it. And unless he's feeling really lucky, the sacrifice bunt has been eliminated now. He's going to have to swing away, ball and 2 strikes.
Well, Polkowski doesn't really sound Irish to me, so I don't know if he's going to be too lucky. I think he's got the green light to swing away right here.
Well, Benetti doesn't sound Irish either. I'm half Irish, so maybe he's got a half of Irish we just don't know about.
Yeah, but you got so much Italian, and Benetti is Benetti spaghetti. That's Italian. It's about as bad as you can get.
50-50. What are you talking about? Check down to first, doesn't get there in time. There's still a ball and 2 strikes here. From Riley McSherry to Connor Polkowski. Here's the 1-2. He shows bunt, and he fouls it. And he is out. I guess he felt lucky and went for it. 1 out, man on first, double play ball in effect to end the inning. Here comes Patrick Zimmer.
Just absolutely perfect right there. McSherry, that's the movement on his pitches make it hard to bunt. And a lot of people don't understand that is, it's like it's a bunt. How come you can't get a bunt down? Well, when McSherry is moving his pitches from north, south, east, west, and every which way in between, it's hard to get that bunt down.
First pitch there to Patrick Zimmer is up high for ball 1. 1-0 is the count to Zimmer. He had a 1-3 sacrifice bunt, and then he flew out to right. He still has Carson Zale on first here, with 1 out now in the top of the 5th. Hardhats with a 4-3 lead. McSherry deals. That pitch is up high. 2 balls, no strikes here to Zimmer.
And now McSherry just threw his 66th pitch, so he's still in that safe zone. He's still being very efficient, keeping his pitch count low, throwing strikes. It's a very good outing. This is a very good day for this post-22 pitching staff.
2-0. That's in there for strike 1. 2 balls and a strike to count. And to build off of your comment about pitch count, what more action he might see here. There is actually action in the Hardhats bullpen. It's hard to see for us because there's a shed block in the bullpen, but I did see a few gentlemen scoot back there. So 2-1 now the count from McSherry to Zimmer. And he deals. That pitch is swung on and hit in the left. Messenger's underneath it, makes the catch. So that's an F7 in the scorebook. Carson Zale retreats to first. 2 outs now for the Hardhats on defense. Still a man on first base. Here comes Cole McKenzie, the center fielder. He is 1 for 2 with an RBI single and a run scored.
And a stolen base. He's got a pretty good stat line. He's been, and he's one of these hitters. He's going to get his. You just got to try and pitch around him.
First pitch is swung on and hit high in the air to shallow center. There's a Bermuda Triangle. Solano makes the catch. Are you kidding me? Solano came all the way in from just about left center field, hit the turf, but he made the play. And that ends the top half of the 5th. Wow.
He was thinking about Bjorkum's little catch down here, that pop 3, and Solano just had to one-up him. That was a dead sprint, full sprawl out. That was a huge play there from Solano out there in center, and that's the wheels that he has. That's a Sports Center top 10 right there.
Well, anything you can do, I can do better, I guess, is what he's saying over there to Cal Bjorkum. That does it for 4.5 innings of play. In that inning, there was no runs on a hit, no errors, and a man left on the base path. And at the end of 4.5, the Hardhats have their 4-3 lead intact. To the sticks they go. Zach Solano, Matt Vickers, Eric Petrie due up. We'll be right back here on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball here on ESPN Radio Rapid City and stream live on the internet at post22live.com.
Maintaining healthy eyes requires regular vision exams. Dr. Paula Sorensen at Envision Optical and Eye Care strives to provide quality vision solutions and exceptional customer service. She values the opportunity to build a lifelong friendly relationship with you and your family. Envision Optical and Eye Care on West Main, across from the Guard Camp.
This is Mark, the Freedom Poet, and I want to tell you about 2 wonderful candidates for South Dakota Legislature, Sean McPherson and Craig Eriks.
There we go. Zach Solano now steps into the batter's box. He makes one heck of a web gem to end the top half of the 5th. Let's see how he starts off the bottom half of the 5th with his bat. Swings and misses at his first pitch for strike 1. Colton Wickman is still on the mound. Teddy had brought up his pitch count the last inning. Well, in the last inning, he only had 6 pitches thrown. So that was efficient enough to maybe keep him in for one more. Wickman throws that one high and inside. 1-1 the count to Solano, who is 1 for 1 with a double, a walk, and a run scored. He's followed by Matt Vickers, who's 0 for 2, and Eric Petrie, who's 1 for 1 with a double, a walk, and a run scored as well. Wickman goes with a breaking ball low and away. 2-1 now the count to Solano.
And Wickman just threw his 80th pitch, and we still don't see any action there in the Billings bullpen. So I don't know if they're just going to let him go the distance and hope for the best, or if they're just running out of arms. 4 games in 2 days, that'll do it to you.
Wickman throws that one up high for ball 3. So 3 balls and a strike now the count to Solano. And Wickman from the windup deals a 3-1. That's ball 4. So Solano gets his second walk of the game. He has been on the base path all 3 times he's been in the batter's box. Leadoff man is on. Nobody out. Here comes Matt Vickers, who is 0 for 2. Due up for a hit if the law of averages plays into effect.
Yeah, absolutely. He's due for a hit. And the law, he bats .478 coming into this game. That might go down just a hair, but, he's definitely due for one, and you want to see him get around the base path.
Well, he shows bunt. Wickman throws a high ball. Jarrett Linewan behind the plate made a great catch. Otherwise, Solano's taken off for second. So Solano is still on first. 1-0 is the count here to Vickers with nobody out. Bottom of the 5th inning. Hardhats up 1. Wickman deals. Vickers shows bunt. Goes around. Throw back to first is not in time. Awfully close play there for Solano. He got pretty lucky there. Ball and a strike now the count to Vickers. Still with that man on first.
Well, it was back to that slide again, and you're taught when that tag's coming down on one of the bags, you do that swim slide where you lift your arm, kind of roll to your side a little bit, and try to let him miss there, and that was a perfectly executed slide there from Solano.
Another check down to first doesn't get there in time, so Solano's still safe on first. There's nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th. Hardhats have a 4-3 lead. Matt Vickers at the plate as a 1-1 count. Shows bunt. Pitches up high. 2 balls and a strike to count. Goes back to what we've talked about multiple times on the year, is that you bring up all the time that if the sacrifice is on, give him something to just bunt.
Yeah, you have to. You're giving up a free out, but
Vickers swings away. Stops made by Kurth, though, from his knees. Throw to second. Is in time, just barely. Umpire looked like he had to make up his mind there. Was originally going to signal safe, Went with the fist, said Solano is out. So that is a 5-4 fielder's choice. Matt Vickers is on first now with one out. And that is going to bring up Eric Petrie, who again is 1 for 1 with a double, a walk, and a run scored.
Yeah, that's tough. The umpire signaled safe and then changed his mind out. That's tough to see.
Petrie swings and misses at his first pitch. 0-1 the count.
But with Vickers on first, you still have one out. He's still a run you got to put. You want to get some insurance runs here. A 1-run lead here, getting towards the final 2 innings after this one. You got to be able to put a few insurance runs past that and extend this lead.
Swing and a miss, strike 2 there for Petrie. So quickly he's behind. No balls and 2 strikes.
I'm just having a hard time talking today. This, I mean, that first game was all right, and it seems like as we get farther into this game, I'm just getting tongue-tied.
0-2 to Petrie. Up high. He'll see another pitch. Ball and 2 strikes, now the count. Trust me, it happens to the best of us. You've been working with me long enough, you know that.
Well, I like how I get tongue-tied on regular sentences, but I can say tongue-tied about 4 times in the same sentence.
Ball and 2 strikes. Petrie pops it up, but fouling out of play. Count will hold at 1-2. Petrie doubled in the bottom half of the second. However, was caught out at third on a fielder's choice. Last time he was up, which was the bottom of the third, he walked, advanced all the way around the bases, and a pass ball scored him in. Ball and 2 strikes to Petrie. Vickers on first, 1 out. Next pitch is low and away, and that'll even things at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Timmy Paris is on deck. He's 0 for 2. Grounded into a fielder's choice, reached on an error, but both times made it to the base path and came around to score. Here's a 2-2. Petrie chops it to third. Kurth gets to it. It's a 5-4-3. Not going to happen on the double play, so 5-4 fielder's choice. So Petrie is safe at first. However, there's now 2 outs with a man on first here for the Hardhats on offense. Timmy Paris now up.
This inning looks real similar. Those 5-4 fielder's choice just in the last 2 batters. I was going through my scorebook, and it's just identical in these first 3 batters. And now with the big bat here of Timmy Paris, and it looks like we're actually going to get a pitching change here now. We did see a little bit of action in the Billings bullpen, and after 92 pitches, I believe the day of Colton Wickman is going to come to an end. And we're going to see if I caught the right license plate. Maybe. Is that Cole McKenzie?
That is Cole McKenzie
coming in. Yeah, so we'll have to make a little adjustments here in the field and see what we can figure out who's going to be going out in center field.
Well, Cole McKenzie's going to take some warm-up pitches, so we'll take a quick recess, and maybe we'll see just exactly who comes on out there. In the meantime, we'll take a 30-second break. We'll be right back here on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball here on ESPN Radio Rapid City and stream live on the internet at post22live.com.
I've known both of them for many years, and I trust them to be faithful champions of our precious Constitution. That includes how they defend our Bill of Rights. Faith, family, and freedom are very important to these men, and they cannot be bought or pressured to vote for anything that they think is harmful to individual freedom or our precious republic. Please vote June 7th in the Republican primary for Craig Erickson.
Well, the start of Colton Wickman has come to an end, and now Cole McKenzie will take over pitching duties for the Billings Royals. This is not the first time that he has come into relief against this Hardhats club. His first batter is Timmy Paris, so quite the tough test. First pitch to Paris is low and inside on a fastball. 1-0 the count.
And after 92 pitches, the day of Colton Wickman comes to an end. And 4 2/3 innings, allowed 5 hits, 4 runs, only 1 of them earned, 6 walks compared to only 1 strikeout.
Paris hits that one into left field, and that's a base hit. He takes that 1-0 pitch, and he puts it by Polkowski and Kurth, and that hole between short and third. 2-out single there for Paris. 2 men on now for the Hardhats. Here comes Hayden McGriff.
A big opportunity here. You got Eric Petrie standing there on second base, and Hayden McGriff, a big bat here. If you can get something into the alleyways, you can see these runners start to get around the base, and McGriff is definitely looking for one. He's 1 for 1, in this game, and he's looking to pick up an RBI and a big insurance run late for the Hardhat club.
First pitch to McGriff from McKenzie is outside corner, strike 1.
And I believe, if my eyes don't deceive me, Orvis moved over to center, and then they brought back Brooks Zimmer out to right field in the switch and swap with bringing McKenzie into pitch.
And I believe you may be right. Jake Orvis has just bounced all over the outfield.
Yeah, he's the definition of a utility player.
So now Orvis is in center, and Brooks Zimmer is out and right. 0-2 now the count to McGriff, and he deals. Low and away, ball and 2 strikes. Check down to first there from Linewand on that sequence, wasn't there in time. There's still 2 men on the base path. On first is Timmy Paris, second is Eric Petrie. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Hardhats have a 4-3 lead. Hayden McGriff has a 1-2 count now from Cole McKenzie. And the pitch. Breaking ball that doesn't break down. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count. Should McGriff safely get on the base path, Cooper Bowman's on deck. 0 for 2 reached on an error in his first at-bat. Should McGriff end the inning, we will go to 4, 5, and 6 for the Billings Royals. Next pitch is low and away. McGriff has pushed the count full now to 3-2.
A real nice quality at bat here for Hayden McGriff, and you know that's all you can ask for. If you win the quality at bats, you're most likely going to win the game, and that's one thing that makes this Hardhat offense so effective is the fact that they're so smart in the batter's box with such a high baseball IQ that they get quality at bats more often than not.
McKenzie stepped off the rubber. Everybody retreated. Now takes their respective leads. Big payoff pitch coming from McKenzie to McGriff, and he deals. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. And that is going to do it. So the Hardhats get no runs on no hits, no errors, but 2 men left on the base path. And at the end of 5 full innings, they still maintain their 4-3 lead over the Billings Royals and look to keep it that way as the top of the 6th inning now approaches. Due up in the top of the 6th, Cal Bjorgum, Cameron Mayseal, the left fielder, and Jarrett Linewand, the catcher. We'll be right back, folks, here on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball, here on ESPN Radio Rapid City, and stream live on the internet at post22live.com.
Farm Bureau, when we talk about protecting what matters most, we're not just talking about things with walls and things with wheels. We're talking about people, your family. Everything that's important to you is important to us. That's why our agents are ready to help protect your future and give you peace of mind today. Visit us online or just stop by to see how Farm Bureau agents make insurance simple.
Contact Jeff or Julie in Rapid City, South Dakota to see how they make insurance simple.
Rapid City Medical Center honors tradition. Hi, I'm Jennifer Tricano, Chief Executive Officer. Owned by physicians, we love this community because it's our home. We coach Little League, are veterans of the armed forces, and send our kids to school with yours. 14 specialties in all, we've treated your family's healthcare needs since 1948. Like Post 22 Baseball, we set higher expectations for ourselves because that's what our legacy demands. Call 342-3280 for an appointment.
We have a statistical amendment to the bottom half of the 5th inning because apparently I can't read my scorebook. We had no runs on 1 hit. Don't want to discredit Timmy Paris there for that single that he had with 2 outs. No errors and 2 men left on the base path.
Got these fancy new scorebooks and you're just having troubles reading it. We gotta get this together.
Special shout out to the Bob Carpenter sportsbook that we're using. Bob Carpenter is the current television broadcaster for the Washington Nationals. Spent almost a decade and a half at ESPN, and has put together a scorebook on just observations he's made from scorebooks past and ones that he's used, and wanted to make one that was a system he could come up with, and it's an unbelievable scorebook that you and I both have here.
Oh, absolutely. This scorebook is awesome. I love it, and we get 200 games with it too. That's the best part.
Yeah, that's right. So we're set for almost 3 seasons of Hardhat baseball.
Yeah.
It is 4, 5, and 6 now due up for the Billings Royals. Cal Bjorgum leads off, and he looks at ball 1 from Riley McSherry, hovering just around 65 pitches. Next pitch to Bjorgum is popped foul. Ball and a strike to count. And I just realized that you told me McSherry had thrown 69 coming into this inning, so I was off by 4. Now he has 71 under his belt.
Yeah, I was just gonna let you have your moment. I wasn't gonna be that guy and just be spiteful on the air. I was just gonna let it go and maybe bring it up later in the inning.
There's a 1-1. That's in there for strike 2. Ball and 2 strikes now the count. to Cal Bjorgum, who is 1 for 2. He had an RBI single back in the top of the first. Reached on an error the last time he was up in the top of the third. McSherry, quick delivery. 1-2 is hit to short. Bowman gets the stop. Throw to first is not in there. It's not in time. So Bowman gets the stop in front. But Cal Bjorgum, the leadoff man, is now on first. And that's going to bring up Cameron Mayseal, the left fielder. This is his first at-bat of the game.
Real tough there for Cooper Bowman. He's very, very solid out in the field, and he just mishandled that ball. It was still a strong throw over to first. He almost had him, almost got the recovery, but just unable to get past it.
First pitch to Mayseal. Shows bunt. It's in there for strike.
He showed bunt and almost collapsed because that breaking ball was coming at him, and it broke over the plate. That was a heck of a pitch.
0-1 the count here to Mayseal. Who batted yesterday. Swings and misses, strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes quickly his count with Cal Bjorgum standing on first. Cameron Mayseal batted in the second game yesterday, and he went 0 for 3 with a strikeout. So this is only his second game of action out of 4 this weekend. 0-2 from McSherry. Eddie Deals. Swung on, and it's hit by Justin Kramer. Bowman gets the scoop. Throw to second. It's not there in time, though. Great defensive range by Cooper Bowman. However, Mayseal gets the infield single. So now there's 2 men on, one of them in scoring position. Nobody out here in the top of the 6th. Go-ahead run is on first. Tying run's on second, and that's going to bring up Jarrett Linewan to the batter's box.
Yeah, real tough there. Cooper Bowman's really showing his range, and he's doing a nice job. That was another perfect throw off his back foot falling down, but just legging it out was Bjorgum from first to second. But you got to give Cooper Bowman credit. He's playing his heart out there.
Line 1 tries to drop down a bunt, and that one goes foul first base side. No balls and a strike to count here to Line 1, who was 1 for 2, singled the last time he was up. And we've noticed this pretty much the entire weekend here, Teddy. The Royals have had a lot of trouble getting that bunt down.
Yeah, and we know firsthand. We go back to last season, beginning in the middle of the season, the Hardhats just couldn't seem to get a bunt down to save their lives. Now they're extremely good at bunting. They remedied that problem, but the Royals still unable to get a bunt down.
Vickers crashing from first. Line 1 swings away, and he fouls that one for strike 2. He's quickly behind, no balls and 2 strikes. And then another thing that we've seen is the batters will show bunt on the first pitch, swing away on the second one.
Yeah, it takes the element of surprise, though, especially with Vickers crashing. They don't want that lead runner thrown out at third. So, you don't get the first one down. That element of surprise is gone after that.
0-2 from McSherry. Swung on and popped up. That's shallow infield. Cooper Bowman calls for it. It's short, and he makes the catch. Huge out there for the Hardhats. Now the double play ball in effect to end the inning. 1 down, still 2 men on. One of those men in scoring position for the Billings Royals. That's going to bring up Pierce Kurth.
Yeah, that was huge. Either way, that was an out there for Line 1. The infield fly rule in effect in that situation. But a nice job finishing the catch and not allowing these runners to advance any farther from Cooper Bowman.
First pitch from McSherry's in there for strike 1. No balls at a strike to count now from McSherry to Kurth. Pierce Kurth is 0 for 2 in this game. Struck out the last time he was up. Jake Orvis is on deck. He grounded into an inning-ending 6-4-3 double play to end the top half of the 4th. 0-1 is low and away, and it gets by Timmy Paris, and everybody's going to advance 90 feet. So now both runners are in scoring position here for the Royals. Cameron Mayseal on second. Cal Bjorgum 90 feet away from home on third. 1-1 is now the count here to Pierce Kurth. 1 hit, and the Royals could possibly have the lead in this ballgame. Infield is in. 1-1. Breaking ball is in there for strike 2. Ball and 2 strikes now the count. From McSherry to Kurth. 1 critical pitch coming up.
Yeah, and with that wild pitch there from McSherry, McSherry has to get Kurth at the plate here. Try and get him a
1-2 is swung on and slow rolled right to McSherry. He holds the runners. Throw to first in time. What a huge ground out there by Pierce Kurth from McSherry to Vickers. 2 down now, and that's going to bring up Jake Orvis.
Yeah, that was apt. That was huge. A nice play there from Riley McSherry. We touched on it of how well these pitchers are at fielding the ball, and McSherry, who does play it short, he's a little better at fielding the ball there. Check the runner, knew the situation that he was in. That was a smart baseball play there from Riley McSherry.
Jake Orvis 0 for 2 with a strikeout and grounded into a double play. His first pitch is swung on and hit to second. Paz gets the scoop throw to first in time, and the Hardhats avoid chaos, and they strand 2 runners in scoring position for the Billings Royals. We had no runs, 1 hit, 1 Hardhat error defensively, and 2 men left on the base path. And at the end of 5.5 innings of play, the Hardhats have still kept their 4-3 lead intact. They go back to the offense, quite possibly for the last time in this ballgame, to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Due up for the Hardhats, 8-9-1. Cooper Bowman, Justin Kramer back to the top of the order to Walker Paz. We'll be right back, folks, here on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball, here on ESPN Radio, Rapid City, and streamed live on the internet at post22live.com.
If you're a younger runner getting into running, you want a shoe that can do it all. You can train in, you can race in, it looks cool, has a lot of Under Armour attitude to it. That's the Bandit.
We call ourselves Bandits. That's the Under Armour way, right? It's how we design product. It's how we live our life here at Under Armour.
There's nothing more American than traveling around this great nation, enjoying the outdoors with your friends and family. Camping World is proud to have been here by your side for 50 years. With thousands of parts and accessories available, plus service at over 120 supercenters nationwide, plus an affordable RV for every budget. Camping World will proudly service you, the RV consumer, for another 50 years. Visit Camping World in Rapid City or shop campingworld.com today.
Cooper Bowman looks at his first pitch up high for ball 1. That starts off the bottom half of the 6th inning here. Quite arguably, or could possibly be, the final 3 outs of the game here offensively for the Hardhats. Bowman looks at ball 2 that almost clips his jersey. 2-0 is his count, so it's Cooper Bowman 0 for 2, reached on an error. Justin Kramer 0 for 1, had an RBI sac fly. Bowman now looks at strike 1, 2-1 the count. And then it's back to the top of the order to Walker Paz, who is 1 for 1 with a single and 2 walks. 2-1 from McKenzie to Bowman is up high. 3 balls and a strike now to the gentleman playing shortstop for the Hardhats. Cole McKenzie in relief, deals a 3-1. That's up high, ball 4. So Cooper Bowman is now on first with a leadoff walk, and that's going to bring up Justin Kramer.
Kramer, who's had a very good weekend, already has an RBI in this game, like you mentioned earlier, but still seeking for that first hit, and he's going to be looking for that unless they're playing small ball to get to the top of the order.
Kramer shows bunt, and Bowman stays on first. Ball was outside for ball 1 there to Kramer.
Yeah, the Billings doing a pitch out right there to try and get Cooper Bowman caught sleeping on the base path.
He ends up making it back there on a check down. So only 1 pitch has been thrown to Kramer. 1-0 is his count. Another check down to first. Bowman's there in time. Billings has picked off 1 man on the base path. That was Walker Paz last night. Here's a 1-0. Kramer showed bunt, pitches high, and Kramer didn't go around on the bunt. 2 balls, no strikes. Statistically across the board, Billings 3 runs on 5 hits, 2 errors defensively. The Hardhats 4 runs on 6 hits, 3 errors defensively. Kramer drops the bunt. It comes right back to McKenzie. Throw to second is in time. They're not going to get Kramer at first. So they get the lead runner. It's a 1-6 fielder's choice. So Justin Kramer's on first. There's now 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. That's going to bring up Walker Paz.
Yeah, and that's tough right there. When you lay down the bunt, you don't want to hit it straight back to the pitcher. A nice job getting it down. And, I mean, Billings has had trouble even getting a bunt down, and it's nice to see that the bunts are going down, but especially with McKenzie, who's a very, very good fielder already. He was able to just catch and throw that right back to second base.
Cole McKenzie buzzed the tower, if you will, on Walker Paz. That one came way inside. Ball and no strikes to count here to Paz, who was 1 for 1 with a single and 2 walks. So he's been on the base path 3 times that he has been in the batter's box today. Here's the 1-0. Swung on and hit foul. Third base side out of play. Ball and a strike now, the count to Paz with a man on first and one out. Walker Paz has had himself a day. He's 1 for 1 with those 2 walks today in the second game. First game went 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored and an RBI. Here's a 1-1. Up high, 2 balls and a strike.
Have yourself a day, kid. He's definitely doing that, and that's what you like to see. We saw Walker all last year when we came, and he was one of the best hitters on that team and one of the biggest contributions, as that's one's checked over to first and Kramer's back in time once again. But one of the biggest contributions to this lineup offensively and defensively, and he struggled early on, but he's just absolutely exploded in the last few games.
Here's a 2-1. That's up high for ball 3. 3 balls and a strike now, the count to Walker Paz. 1 pitch away from what would be his 3rd walk of the day and his 4th trip to first base. Garrett Linewand, the catcher, comes out to Cole McKenzie to try and calm him down a bit. Three balls and a strike, the count here to Paz. Kramer's on first. Here's the 3-1. Up high, ball 4. Kramer was going regardless, but now he's going to get allowed a free trip there.
Getting a little heckling from the dugout because everyone saw Kramer running hard. He didn't stop once that walk was issued. He was still going hard, and you like to see that, but got to get a little heckling from the guys in the dugout there.
So now here comes Drake Messenger, who is 1 for 3, grounded into an inning-ending 5-4-3 double play back in the bottom half of the 4th. Runners both go. Messenger chops it up the middle. Stops made by Bulkowski. Throw to first is in time. 6 unassisted 3 double play, and that will end the inning. For the Hardhats offensively, those could have been their final offensive entries. And they will be unless the Billings Royals score at minimum 1 run in the next inning. So in that inning, there were no runs, no hits, no errors, only 1 man left on the base path. And at the end of 6 full innings, the Hardhats have still held on to their 4-3 lead, 3 outs away from sweeping the doubleheader today against the Billings Royals. Riley McSherry still on the mound. Carson Zale, Connor Polkowski, Patrick Zimmer due up for the Royals. We'll be right back, folks, here on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball here on ESPN Radio Rapid City and stream live on the internet at post22live.com.
Honda knows you expect a lot from your car. But we wanted to give you even more. So we gave the Civic, the best-selling car in its class, even more horsepower. More room than ever. And a stylish new exterior. Introducing the all-new Civic, the 2016 North American Car of the Year. Nothing compares to a Honda.
Where will you find Black Hills State University graduates? Everywhere, locally, nationally, and internationally.
Zimmer leads off, taking over for Carson Zale, the DH. Zale finished his day 1 for 2, reached on an errant single. Now comes in. First pitch is high and away, ball 1. Brooks Zimmer is out in right field now. It's been a game of musical chairs defensively out here for the Billings Royals. Next pitch to Zimmer is hit to short. Bowman gets the scoop. Toss to first is in time. Great stretch from Matt Vickers. Ball almost went wide, but the 6-3 putout is completed. Hardhats now 2 outs away from sweeping this doubleheader today. It's got to bring up Connor Polkowski, the leadoff hitter, who is 0 for 2 with a walk, a run scored, and 2 strikeouts, the last of which came on a fouled bunt for strike 3. Here is his first pitch. Swung on and missed. 0-1 the count here from Riley McSherry. Who has just pitched a gem of a game so far. Here comes the 0-1. That's low. Ball and a strike to count. 1 ball, 1 strike to count here to Connor Polkowski. 0 for 2 with a walk, a run scored, 2 strikeouts. McSherry from the windup, 1-1. Swung on and hit right up the middle. Paz gets the stop on the high hop. Throw to first is wild. And it gets away from both Matt Vickers and Timmy Paris, but Vickers is able to get it. So Connor Polkowski takes his spot on first. That is the 4th error defensively for the Hardhats. And they're going to award second to Polkowski. So now he's in scoring position with 1 out. The tying run is 180 feet away from home. That's going to bring up Patrick Zimmer.
And that's huge right there. It should be 2 outs. You should be down to your last out, or even if it didn't go in the dugout, you should still have an ability to try to get this ground ball out here. So it's going to be tough. That was a huge play right there from Walker Paz. That huge blunder there from Walker Paz there at second.
First pitch to Zimmer is swung on and check swung to third. Kramer holds the runner at second. Throw to first is in time, but then Polkowski takes off for third. So there's 2 outs now for the Hardhats. 5-3. They have a 4-3 lead. It's 5-3 in the scorebook, that is. And that's going to bring up Cole McKenzie, the center fielder now turned pitcher. This is a very high-pressured moment here for Riley McSherry. The tying run's 90 feet away. First pitch from McSherry is up high for ball 1.
Yeah, this is a high press, especially with McKenzie in the batter's box. Him and Bjorgum, you got to face both these great hitters in back-to-back, and you got to keep this runner at third base.
Next pitch, up high, 2 balls, no strikes. Cole McKenzie is 1 for 3 as an RBI single came around to score. Flew out the other times he was up. And now it looks like we're going to get a conference on the mound here from Coach Messer in the infield, Riley McSherry.
Yeah, and Coach Messer, Riley McSherry had 92 pitches, so you know he's a little fatigued, but Coach Messer wants Riley to go the entire game and get this win, and he's just asking, hey, you got 1 more out in you, or you gassed, and he's just waiting, and he wants to hear the good news there from McSherry saying he's good and he can go and he can get this, and you know, this is just trying to calm him down, get him back in his rhythm, get his mind on getting this last out.
Well, here's the scenario. Connor Polkowski is on third. An error allowed him to reach the base path, and then because the throw was so wild, it went into the dugout. They awarded him second base. He advanced to third on a 5-3 ground out from Patrick Zimmer. Next pitch from McSherry here to Cole McKenzie is a strike. So now 2-1 is the count here to Cole McKenzie, who's 1 for 3 with an RBI single already. 1 swing at the bat. We are tied, and the Hardhats will bat in the bottom of the 7th. Here's a 2-1. Swung on, and that is hit in the air to center field. Zach Solano's tracking underneath it, makes the catch, and that's going to do it. The Hardhats sweep the doubleheader today, and they win by a final score of 4-3 in 6.5 innings.
That was a huge day for the Hardhats. You know, we talked about everyone splitting. They came into this doubleheader. Each team 2 wins, 2 losses. Now the Hardhats take the big 4-2 lead for the season series, and you know that was huge. It's been a real good day of baseball for this post-22 club, and you know it was a good day of baseball in general. 2 teams going at it in this second game, real tight one, and it was a lot of fun to watch.
Well, folks, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Teddy and I will gather some thoughts, tabulate some statistics, and then we will give you our post-game coverage of what has been a great day of Hardhats baseball. The final score after 6.5 innings of play, the Hardhats win 4-3 over the Billings Royals. They sweep this doubleheader and take 3 games out of 4 in this weekend series. We'll be right back, folks, here on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats baseball, here on ESPN Radio, Rapid City, and streamed live on the internet at post22live.com.
Black Hill State University is where community leaders are inspired, where future teachers are prepared, where global connections lead to business connections, and where underground research is changing the way we understand the universe. Visit bhsu.edu and enroll now at Black Hill State University, where you can earn your degree affordably and with campuses in Spearfish and Rapid City. Stay in the beautiful Black Hills. Where does your future begin? At Black Hill State University, where anything is possible.
Maintaining healthy eyes requires regular vision exams. Dr. Paula Sorensen at Envision Optical and Eye Care strives to provide quality vision solutions and exceptional customer service. She values the opportunity to build a lifelong friendly relationship with you and your family. Envision Optical and Eye Care on West Main, across from the guard camp.
This is Mark, the Freedom Poet, and I want to tell you about two wonderful candidates for South Dakota legislature, Sean McPherson and Craig Eriks. I've known both of them for many years, and I trust them to be faithful champions of our precious Constitution. That includes how they defend our Bill of Rights. Faith, family, and freedom are very important to these men, and they cannot be bought or pressured to vote for anything that they think is harmful to individual freedom or our precious republic. Please vote June 7th in the Republican primary for Craig Eriks and Sean McPherson.
Paid for by Eriks for SD House and McPherson for House.
At Farm Bureau, when we talk about protecting what matters most, we're not just talking about things with walls and things with wheels. We're talking about people, your family. Everything that's important to you is important to us. That's why our agents are ready to help protect your future and give you peace of mind today. Visit us online or just stop by to see how Farm Bureau agents make insurance simple.
Contact Jeff or Julie in Rapid City, South Dakota to see how they make insurance simple.
Rapid City Medical Center honors tradition. Hi, I'm Jennifer Tricano, Chief Executive Officer. Owned by physicians, we love this community because it's our home. We coach Little League, are veterans of the armed forces, and send our kids to school with yours. 14 specialties in all, we've treated your family's healthcare needs since 1948. Like post-22 baseball, we set higher expectations for ourselves because that's what our legacy demands. Call 342-3280 for an appointment.
If you're a younger runner getting into running, you want a shoe that can do it all. You can train in, you can race in, it looks cool, has a lot of Under Armour attitude to it. That's the Bandit.
We call ourselves bandits. That's the Under Armour way, right? It's how we design product. It's how we live our life here at Under Armour.
There's nothing more American than traveling around this great nation, enjoying the outdoors with your friends and family. Camping World is proud to have been here by your side for 50 years. With thousands of parts and accessories available, plus service at over 120 supercenters nationwide, plus an affordable RV for every budget. Camping World will proudly service you, the RV consumer, for another 50 years. Visit Camping World in Rapid City or shop campingworld.com today.
Honda knows you expect a lot from your car. But we wanted to give you even more. So we gave the Civic, the best-selling car in its class, even more horsepower. More room than ever. And a stylish new exterior. Introducing the all-new Civic, the 2016 North American Car of the Year. Nothing compares to a Honda.
Where will you find Black Hills State University graduates? Everywhere, locally, nationally, and internationally. Black Hills State University is where community leaders are inspired, where future teachers are prepared, where global connections lead to business connections, and where underground research is changing the way we understand the universe. Visit bhsu.edu and enroll now at Black Hills State University, where you can earn your degree affordably and with campuses in Spearfish and Rapid City. Stay in the beautiful Black Hills. Where does your future begin? At Black Hills State University, where anything is possible.
Maintaining healthy eyes requires regular vision exams. Dr. Paula Sorensen at Envision Optical and Eye Care strives to provide quality vision solutions and exceptional customer service. She values the opportunity to build a lifelong friendly relationship with you and your family. Envision Optical and Eye Care on West Main, across from the guard camp.
This is Mark, the Freedom Poet, and I want to tell you about two wonderful candidates for South Dakota legislature, Sean McPherson and Craig Eriks. I've known both of them for many years, and I trust them to be faithful champions of our precious Constitution. That is
Post 22 Hardhats Baseball here on ESPN Radio Rapid City is brought to you by Sound Pro, the Physical Therapy Center, Courtesy Subaru, Pioneer Bank and Trust, Pawn With Us, Shields, Ponderosa Screen Printing and Embroidery, and Advanced Dental. Well, the Hardhats sweep this day. 2 games in the books, 2 wins for the Hardhats. The first one, 11-1 in 5 innings of play. The last one needed at least 6.5 innings. The Hardhats took a 4-3 win over the Billings Royals. Once again, thank you so much for joining us for all the action this entire weekend. 2 days of doubleheaders between the Billings Royals and the Post 22 Hardhats. It's been a very entertaining day, or rather entertaining days of baseball. give credit where credit's due on that. Billings Royals put up a heck of a series against this Hardhats club, and the Hardhats valiantly defended their home turf 3 out of 4 times in this weekend series. Mark Minetti and Teddy Leipold alongside you in the broadcast booth, recapping all the action that we just saw from this second day of doubleheaders. Teddy, once again, great day of baseball that you and I got to watch from this Hardhats club. Second game was a little close, 4-3 the final score, 6 combined errors between both teams, 4 of which went to the Hardhats. But at the end of the day, they stayed pretty stalwart. It was a pretty simple game, and they stranded base runners in scoring position for the Royals when they had the opportunity to.
Yeah, it was a real good game in the second one. Not as good as that first one. That first one was, you don't want to say flawless because, there's always stuff you can work on. But that first game was very crisp, very clean, a very nice game. The second one, not so much. The second one is one of those you got to dig down deep. You got to find out who you are. You got to overcome the adversity and still get the win. You need a good, healthy mix of both of those kinds of wins in order to grow as a ball club and mature as a ball club as well throughout the season. So it was definitely not a pretty win by any means necessary, but it definitely was a win. And it was, the 6 combined errors, 4 going to the Hardhats. We watched them lose the game yesterday when they had 5 errors. So, it was tough, and it got close there at the end, but that's the exciting baseball. 2 very, very good baseball teams going at it for 4 games this weekend. It was a treat to watch each and every one of them.
So let's go ahead and recap the game as it happened chronologically, and we start always with the first inning here. And once again, Teddy, top of the first inning, Billings Royals put at least 1 run on the board, and that's now 6 games in a row where the Hardhats have allowed runs from their opposition in the first inning. That's something that they're really going to have to clean up as the season progresses.
Yeah, you don't want to give up that first run. You always want to be the team to score that first run, because then you don't want to ever come from behind or have to try and overcome a deficit. And when you're giving up that first run, or for example yesterday, even in that 12-3 when you give up 3 in the first inning, you don't know how that game's going to end up in that first inning. It looked gloomy there in the first inning at the game yesterday. So you got to try and fix that, try and tighten that up, trying to get 1, 2, 3 innings, start fast. Always start fast. In hockey, how many times Coach DeSantis for the Rush would say you want that first goal mentality. You'd start fast, finish fast. And, we've heard Coach Messer say it as well. Any coach in about any sport wants to be on the board first and wants to get the jump start on their opponent. And, unfortunately, Billings gets to bat first, so they could always put up a run no matter what, at least given the first opportunity. But you got to do everything you can, and you got to limit these runs, because it could really come back to bite you here once you get later in the season and all these teams start to get in mid-season form.
So the Hardhats now trail 1-0 after 1 inning. They go to the second inning. They blank the Billings Royals in the top of the second, come back with a run of their own, and that's Justin Kramer with an RBI sacrifice fly that pushed across Timmy Paris. 1-1 the score, and then you get to the big inning that you talk about. The Hardhats need the big inning. Well, this happened to be a big inning for both teams, as the Royals plated 2 in the top of the third, but the Hardhats countered right back with 3, and they never looked back.
Yeah, and ultimately that third run, that was the go-ahead run all the way back in the third inning, and you look at the go-ahead at Timmy Paris once again as the one that's crossing the plate for the go-ahead run. And, the Billings Royals plated 2 in the top of that third inning, and coming back to plate 3 was huge. It restole the momentum back from Billings that they gained in the top of the inning, and then once the Hardhats had the momentum, the pitching of Riley McSherry, and then the hitting just kept them off balance, and they were not able to catch back up for the rest of the game in the final 3.5 innings.
Riley McSherry with a very quality start. He is the second pitcher to go a complete game today. Colton Drabinski went the full 5 innings after the Hardhats won 11-1 in that first game. McSherry goes final stat line across the board: 7 innings pitched, 5 hits, 3 runs. Only 1 of them were earned. 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, all on 94 pitches. And you touched on it earlier that it's so great to see that endurance and that reliability coming at the early stage of the season. 94 pitches in 7 innings. That is not easy to do.
Absolutely not. You'd be surprised with this start mid-season, let alone the 10th game of the season and the very first start that McSherry has this year. We got to forget he's been coming out of the bullpen here in the early parts, and now he gets a start. Now he really gets to come in and show what he's made of, and to go the complete game with 94 pitches. And he still had his velocity. He didn't lose any of his velocity. He didn't lose his movement on his pitches. So, He still had a lot in the tank with his arm, and that's one of the things that you talk with Coach Messer about. The first thing he'll say about Riley McSherry is he has so much stamina. This kid could probably throw 150 pitches and still say he's fine, and his arm will feel fine because he was made in a lab somewhere to throw a baseball and pitch. So he can definitely go and have the stamina. And to get it from Colton Trubinsky in the first game as well, you save a lot of arms when you only use 2. You look at Billings, who had to use 2 in the first game and 2 in the second game. That's 4 pitchers to 2 pitchers. How many arms do you save just by doing that? So when your pitchers can go deep in the game and the complete game, that's a real luxury to have.
Well, I'll even expand upon that even further. The entire weekend, the Billings Royals used 2 pitchers exactly in every single game. The Hardhats, like you mentioned, keep it to 2 complete game performances with Colton Trubinsky and Riley McSherry. We pretty much went in depth on the gentleman. It kind of let the cat out of the bag, but I'll still tee you up for it. Who's your MVP for the second game?
Well, it's got to be Riley McSherry, and we'll keep it short and sweet since we just had a nice little rant about him because this kid deserves it 100%. He comes back and just pitches an absolute gem, and this pitching staff today just sweeped the MVP award, so it'll be a challenge to these hitters. I'll be sure to go down and let them know that this pitching staff got both MVPs today, so these hitters need to step it up a little bit.
Well, we're going to go ahead with stat of the day, and I've got a couple of stats today to actually point out. The first one I have to give Teddy credit for because I was sifting through here for stats until I had a couple of revelations, if you will, on trying to get some numbers. Teddy presented that the Billings Royals struck out 24 times in these 4 games, only compared to the 12 times that the Hardhats struck out at the plate. It's always a key of the game for you, limiting strikeouts at the plate, and they flipped that complete role reversal. Billings really couldn't do much when the pitchers were red hot.
Yeah, and the strikeouts at the plate, those are outs that are just about the easiest out you can get, not from a pitcher standpoint. I don't know. I guess I don't really know how to put that, but when you're putting the ball in play, the fielders have to field. And we saw quite a few errors this weekend, not to sugarcoat or anything. There was some sloppy baseball at times through these 4 games, and there was some amazing baseball at times through these 4 games as well. But, anytime you put it in play, those fielders have to make a play, and if they don't, you get on base, or you find a hole, or you find a gap, or anything, you get an overthrow. So you put the ball in play. Striking out, I personally, for me, I feel like that's huge because you keep putting the ball in play, your contact rate is up, and you're finding the hole and gaps of this defense.
To touch on the errors, that's my second statistical observation. I have one more coming up after this, but 20 errors combined between both teams in 4 games this weekend, split evenly down the middle. 10 for Billings, 10 for the Hardhats, and that is something that has to be cleaned up. You look at the first game today, and the Hardhats only had 1 blemish in the field. They won by 10. Today they had 4 blemishes in the field and won by 1. Any other time, any other scenario, that could be quite possibly a loss for the Hardhats if they're not careful.
Well, yeah, you just look at that first game where you had 5 errors in the field and you lose a 10-7 game on that first one. Then you come back and you don't have a single error, and then you win 12-3. So errors, those play in as well. Those are huge, and I didn't expect 20 errors between those 2. I didn't tabulate those stats yet, but that's a good one, and it just. That's what those numbers are for. It shows you that if you play fundamental baseball, if you keep your head and wits about you, and you just make the plays you're supposed to make, then you're gonna win the game. And if you don't, if you make errors, if you have blunders in the field or miscommunications or anything like that, you're not going to be able to win many ball games.
The last stat to point out, and this is one that you touch on with trying to get quality starts and efficient innings, both Riley McSherry and Colton Trubinsky combined for 176 pitches. Over the 12 innings of work that they had combined, that averaged out to 14.6 pitches per inning. I'm pretty sure, I'm going out on a limb here, that's quite efficient.
Absolutely. You grab a dictionary, look up efficiency, and that's what it will be. That is exactly what you want. I mean, you get pitchers, you want them to go deep in a ball game, and at this level, if they can hit 100 pitches, you are ecstatic for them to throw 100 pitches in this game. And for both of these gentlemen to do that and only average that 14 pitches a game, You know, I said earlier in that first game, you know, you want to average about 15. You can get upwards to 20 and still be safe, but that 15 mark, if you can hit that, you're going to make it deep in a ball game, and you're going to be efficient, and they beat that. So, you know, that just goes to show you that pitching won these two games, or was at least a huge part of these two games for the 2 wins here today.
Post 22 Hardhats take 3 wins in 4 games this entire weekend. Split the doubleheader yesterday, lost the first game 10-7, won the second game 12-3. Today they sweep the doubleheader. They won 11-1 in 5 innings in game 1 at 10 a.m. this morning. Just won game 2 4-3 in 6.5 innings. Final stat line across the board, though. Billings Royals had 3 runs on 5 hits with 2 errors defensively and 6 men left on base. The Hardhats had 4 runs on 6 hits, however, 4 blemishes in the field and 8 runners left on the base path. So now the Hardhats improved to 8-3. Their next contest will be Wednesday night at 5:30 against the Gillette Post 42 Riders on the road. It's going to be a relatively quick turnaround for this team to get back on the road and then come back home for more baseball this upcoming weekend. Once again, folks, we thank you so much for joining us all day long and all weekend long for 4 quality games of baseball. For Ben with the sports ticket, helping us stay on top of things on post22live.com. Teddy in the broadcast booth providing all of his analysis, as well as our fine gentlemen back at ESPN Radio in Rapid City, Steve Jacobs, Chris Algo, and Ian Rambo. This is Mark Benetti, the voice of the Post 22 Hardhats, saying until Wednesday night, so long and have a great afternoon.
At Farm Bureau, when we talk about protecting what matters most, we're not just talking about things with walls and things with wheels. We're talking about people, your family. Everything that's important to you is important to us. That's why our agents are ready to help protect your future and give you peace of mind today. Visit us online or just stop by to see how Farm Bureau agents make insurance simple.
Contact Jeff or Julie in Rapid City, South Dakota to see how they make insurance simple.
If you jump into a race and you haven't paid the entry fee,
If you just hop in and you don't have a bib number and you just run with it illegally,
it's called being a bandit.
The Charge Bandit is the first stability offering in our Run Long segment.
we have the armor vent and the 4-foot maximum breathability. We paired it with the Charge Ultimate Response adaptive cushioning. If you go to the medial side, you'll see a stability post here, and we've done stability kind of in our own way where we're more guiding the foot.
This shoe provides a light stability platform for the runner.
If you're a younger runner getting into running, you want a shoe that can do it all. You can train in, you can race in, it looks cool, has a lot of Under Armour attitude to it. That's the Bandit.
We call ourselves bandits. That's the Under Armour way, right? It's how we design product, it's how we live our life here at Under Armour.
Honda knows you expect a lot from your car. But we wanted to give you even more. So we gave the Civic, the best-selling car in its class, even more horsepower. More room than ever. And a stylish new exterior. Introducing the all-new Civic, the 2016 North American Car of the Year. Nothing compares to a Honda.
There's nothing more American than traveling around this great nation, enjoying the outdoors with your friends and family. Camping World is proud to have been here by your side for 50 years. With thousands of parts and accessories available, plus service at over 120 supercenters nationwide, plus an affordable RV for every budget. Camping World will proudly service you, the RV consumer, for another 50 years. Visit Camping World in Rapid City or shop campingworld.com today.
At Farm Bureau, when we talk about protecting what matters most, we're not just talking about things with walls and things with wheels. We're talking about people, your family. Everything that's important to you is important to us. That's why our agents are ready to help protect your future and give you peace of mind today. Visit us online or just stop by to see how Farm Bureau agents make insurance simple.
Contact Jeff or Julie in Rapid City, South Dakota to see how they make insurance simple.
If you jump into a race and you haven't paid the entry fee,
If you just hop in and you don't have a bib number and you just run with it illegally,
it's called being a bandit.
The Charge Bandit is the first stability offering in our Run Long segment.
we have the armor vent and the 4-foot maximum breathability. We paired it with the Charge Ultimate Response adaptive cushioning.
I nah, nah.